Well, hello and welcome to night 2 of the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt $250 to win show, thanks to Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services. Kai Richardson on the mic once again, joined by Brett Wheeler, and it's going to be a big night of action. About 2 hours will be the time this session will run in. We've got 5 heats, another round of heats to go. Then we'll have a quick interval, and then the first B main, a second B main with the top 4 from each going to our 50 lap final. Brett Wheeler, welcome back. It's going to be a good night. As Heat 1 gets out on track. Heat 1, night 2. Yep.
Yep, sounds good. Sorry, I was actually pressing the wrong push to talk button, so they wouldn't have heard anything that I just said.
That is all good, because I didn't either.
Yeah, no, that explains why it kept cutting in and out on me.
Thomas Hunter and Brighton Wells will be off your front row. Nicholas Tapley and Darren McCarthy, 3rd and 4th to start the night. Kenneth Mankey and Wade Baker will be behind Aidan Scrah and Sean Stevens. Jake Armstrong and Casey O'Connell, they'll find each other out of 9th and 10th. Then it's back to Tyler McQuilkin and Todd Atkins off the back. I think you'll find when it comes to the points, we've switched them around for the heat lineups tonight. So fastest from the back. Hold on, get ready. Heat 1 about to go very, very shortly.
Oh, how good is this format? Fastest from the rear, especially on a tacky racetrack. Now, we were talking just before about setups. I think a lot of these drivers here tonight have got their hands on a nice little setup I actually put together today. It took me about half hour to get it right, but when it comes to lap times, I was actually pretty much quicker than what those drivers were last night. It was around the 19.7s on a slick racetrack, so should be interesting to see who's got it and who's got it in and how they go here tonight.
Yes, as you said, I'm sure plenty of people jumped onto that setup as Brett opens a Pepsi Max to start the night. And it's an interesting point of view as well. Last night we had 30 heats, so I've done a little bit of homework. We had 26 different heat winners from the 30 heats ran last night, so the variety's certainly there. The only drivers getting 2 heat wins last night were Brad Pascoe and Todd Atkins in the first session, and then Mitchell Parmenter and Jacob Todd out of the USA in the second session. So I wouldn't expect anything different these first 5 heats.
Oh, that's a pretty cool stat. 26 different winners over 30 heat races. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and it just goes to show that, you know, with the way the track conditions were last night, you know, we didn't see, you know, any one or any 2 particular drivers be so dominant here at Eldora.
Yeah, exactly, that's right. A few of them heat winners did get a 2nd and 3rd here, but as you said, the dominance wasn't as strong as we might have expected a few drivers to really turn it up, but as we just mentioned, that wasn't the case. So again, as we said, reverse orders for the heats. They're going to have a lot of work to do if they want to get moving along, that's for sure. As we're just getting heat 1 out on track, just a minor issue there, but it'll be sorted very, very shortly. I also calculated, so Brett, we've had drivers from New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, Victoria, WA, and 16 drivers registered from the United States. Now I've got stats on how many heat wins has gone to each state and territory too, so we'll get to that in a few heats time.
Alright, let me just ask, has the Americans got the most heat wins, or is it the Australians?
The Americans are doing well for themselves. That's all I'll tell you what, we'll go around heat 3, we'll get into the juicy details. But the Americans have certainly showed their worth, that is for sure, especially Jacob Todd with them 2 heat wins.
How about this? After each heat, you read off from position 5. So after heat 1, the fifth state with the most wins, you read that off. After heat 2, we'll then go to the 4th highest. Heat 3, yep. 3rd highest. Heat 4, 2nd
That'll
highest.
Work.
And heat 5, the highest. There we go.
That'll work. I'll try and... I was going to say, I'll try and put night 2 into the mix as well, but we'll just focus on night 1's tally from last night. Who knows, we might get the second night of heats in. Of course, these 5 coming up, and it looks like we're about to get ready to get underway. I'll tell you what, before heat 1, I'll just let you know that no Tasmanian has won a heat this weekend so far.
Well, you know, I want to say I'm not surprised, but then again, I don't want to throw Tasmania under the bus.
As we get ready to go, Heat 1, Night 2 of the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt $250 show to win thanks to Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services. It's a busy start on the way into turn 1 and 2. Mankey's in there, Darren McCarthy, and plenty more as they charge down the back straight to complete the first night of the big final show. 50-lap final later on, and it's only just getting started.
Wow, we've got the car end of the wall. That's the black and pink machine. Oh no, we've got a couple of cars coming together. Stevens involved, Tyler McQuirk, and they keep it all going. 2 and 3 wide. Look at Atkins as we go yellow for the first time here tonight. And Atkins, boy, he was getting on the move already.
Yeah, Kenneth Mankey just finding trouble at the back in that one. A little bit of damage to the front nose cone, but hopefully nothing major. And as you said, Atkins will have that early work taken away from him.
Tell you who impressed me last night? Nicholas Tapley in that 84 machine. Pretty sure he picked up a heat race win last night, didn't he? In his server?
Just having a look.
Well, he might have come close.
I don't think he actually got the heat win, but he was fairly consistent during the night in his server. There's a fair bit of paperwork going on here. I'll try and find his name.
I can only imagine.
Especially when pen and paper man, Brett, not the computer systems. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Old school, going old school. Here we go. Green flag. Set to come back out here on the racetrack. We've got O'Connell and another car there who was side by side on a single file restart. But we'll go back to green, down into 1 and 2. It is Hunter to lead from Tapley. Then you go back to Wade Baker in the 49 machine. And then you look at Brighton Wells. He'll look to the inside on Baker, down into turn number 3 and 4. Slides up, nearly contact. Left rear to right front. Oh, these big street stocks, they can handle a bit of rubbing.
Just like in the real world, the street is... Oh, that's a bit more than rubbing, though, as Atkins gets into the back of Aiden Scrall. We've got trouble at the back. Expect the cautions to maybe come out, but it looks as if all them tailwind Charlies have got it back underway, but we go yellow once again. And that leads me into... I've found the night 1, Tapley, who you were impressed by, Brett. Of course, he was in the second session last night, and consistency was key when it come to him having a second in his first heat, and then I think it was maybe a 4th and a 5th. So, you know, he's sitting in second now, and might only be the one more heat for each driver so far tonight. But 36 points in Speedway Sedan's scheduling is certainly plenty.
I was also just starting to go through the list of drivers that had sent a message to the page to find out who in fact out there at the moment is going to be running the setup. I can tell you, I know offhand, McCarthy, Darren McCarthy, Plugger, he's one of those drivers. We give it to Tyler McQuilkin. Oh man, there's a whole list of names there. I mean, drivers that didn't even make the show tonight have sent a message to the page saying, hey, can I get that set up?
As I said last night, I put down your little gear ratio. That's in the back. That'll be in the back of the iRacing diary.
Now, can you just rub that out, and I'll give you a new gear to test out.
All right. Haven't had whiteout for a while, but I'll have to find some.
Find some whiteout and just write a 543.
543s. He stooged everyone listening last night.
Nope, 550 is still good, but 543 is better.
Secrets are coming out now, folks.
Can confirm, trust me, on an 85% racetrack, I was doing 19.7s and 19.8s.
Yeah, that's not a bad effort at all. It looks as if it might be a bad effort for Wade Baker though, going to the back on the restart. Being deemed majority of the cause of that caution. As Thomas Hunter still your race leader with Tapley still right in behind him. Then it's back to that 9 car of Brighton Wells. AMCA National racer in the real world, Darren Plugger McCarthy sitting in 4th, Toddy Atkins. Then it's back to McQuilkin, Jake Armstrong, another AMCA National competitor in the real world, Sean Stevens, Kenneth Mankey, Casey O'Connell, Aidan Scrar, and of course Baker at the back. That's your lineup as we get ready to go green once again.
Heat race number 1, and the green flag is going to fly here. We'll only have 5 heat races, 2 B mains, and then a 50-lap main event as Thomas Hunter continues to lead out of turn number 2 and down the back straight away. And then go back to Nicholas Tapley back there in position number 2. And again, there's a battle going on right around the mid-pack as here comes Atkins looking up on the inside right now on McCarthy, I believe that is, down into turn number 1 and 2.
Might have just tagged the front of the 24 machine, but nevertheless quite a clean pass there from Todd Atkins. How he now puts Brighton Wells on his hit list to be the next one to go a position down, and he's charging fairly quickly. The Mustang bodied Adam Holt Industries car has a little bit of a punch in the front end, but I don't think that's going to affect him at all as we look back up front. Thomas Hunter might even have company from Tapley here, so it's a battle up front and then an absolute pack still behind him.
Yeah, it is. It's Tapley all over the back of Hunter down through turn number 3 and 4. A couple of bright looking race cars. It's the green and black number 17 of Thomas Hunter who continues to lead down the back straight away. Tapley, what can he do? Now Atkins is now moving to the outside on Brighton Wells. As here goes Atkins through the middle of the racetrack looking for a pass on the outside. Todd Atkins that is, sorry. He come from deep in this field. He's now in position 3 as Tapley looks around the outside of the race leader out of turn number 2. Contact! Oh, they saved it. Opens up the door because here comes Atkins.
Thomas Hunter, race leader after that little moment. Tapley there in 2nd. Toddy Atkins sitting in 3rd after starting dead last in this one. He started out at 12th and now he's pressuring the back of the 84 Devil Racecart car of Nicholas Tapley. Tapley leaves a bit of a gap, and that's a silly thing to do when you've got Taddy Atkins underneath you. Atkins now has a look on the way into turn 3 and 4. The bottom's working for him here at the moment. Side by side back behind them for the battle for 4th as well. But out front it's still Thomas Hunter. In fact, he'll get the win.
Oh, what a win.
Thomas Hunter gets the first heat win of the night. Second will be that of Nicholas Tapley. And after starting 12th, Brett, Toddy Atkins is wheeled at home in 3rd.
Yeah, stellar drive there by Todd Atkins there to come from position 12 up to position 3. He'll bank a lot more valuable points moving forward as he looks to start off near the front couple of rows in tonight's 50-lap main event. We'll come back in just a few moments' time. Heat race number 2.
Mini Motorsport Doors, the leading edge in motorsport memorabilia. Provides replica race car doors for your team and your favourite drivers. With sponsor recognition, event trophy opportunities, or even just a gift, we have all your needs covered. We are now available for your orders. Just contact our Facebook or Instagram page for more details on our competitive pricing and orders to suit your every need.
Heat 2 of night 2 about to roll out on track this time. Thanks once again to Hooligators. You'll find them at Adelaide International Raceway, Borderline Speedway, and in their classic position out the back of turn 3 and 4 at Murray Machining and Sheds Murray Bridge Speedway. Of course, Hooligators, your specialist in speedway merchandise, die-cast photos, and some of the jackets they've got there will keep you warm even at a place like Murray Fridge.
Did you just say Murray Fridge?
I did, Brett.
I like it. I like it.
As Heat 2 rolls out on track, Michael Brown and Matt Vickery will be off your front row. Then it's back to Jaden Noon, Trelaw, heat winner last night, Dale Hallett, Reg Corbett and Hayden Vickers, 2 more heat winners from last night, starting off at 5th and 6th. Jacob Todd and Jacob Burford, 7th and 8th. Trent Gosley and Bo Oldfield with Lewis Clark and Mitchell Parmenter off the back, as I'll quickly update you. The next 2 states in terms of wins last night, Brett. New South Wales had 1 driver get a heat win, and SA only 2 heat winners last night, Hayden Vickers and Matthew Tyler.
Who was the driver from New South Wales?
I believe it was possibly Kenneth Mankey.
Wow, all those New South Welshmen disappointing in street stocks. Heat race number 2 is green here at Eldora Speedway. Look at Leicester up on the inside, but keep an eye on Kurt Millwall. He'll go right through the middle now through turn number 3 and 4, 2, 3, nearly 4 wide. Out of turn number 4, they've eaten it back and Robin Pennels and showing some fender love. And 4 wide with some contact. Cars around, Price going around, and Brad Pascoe.
He's over!
Not quite.
Not quite! So
Not
close,
quite.
but yet so far, Brett.
Now, our flip count was 9 last night, if I'm not mistaken.
It was very, very, very approximate. Flip count was at 9. Now,
The approximate's good enough for me at the moment.
I reckon we should continue on from that and make it one for the weekend. So it's standing at 9.
We go to 13 tonight.
13. Oh,
I reckon there's only going to be 4 flips here tonight.
could be a chance. There's B mains to come, so that'll always provide action aplenty.
And then there's a 50 lap A main to come as well.
Well, you're certainly correct.
Now, I'm just... No, Oldfield is not out there. Now, is this heat 3 on track? Have they skipped a heat? Or did Bo just miss it? Because I thought you called Trent Gosley out here. Now, I can't see that 4. I can see the 24, which is Sean O'Hara. I see Brad Pascoe out there, Troy Price.
Yeah, I think you'll find the order on the paper goes in a downward motion, and the numbers are a little bit mumbo jumbo. So we might have swapped heats, but shouldn't be too much of a worry. I'm sure we'll just bring the other heat back out after this one, Brett. So yes, I thought I read out the wrong list.
Yeah, that was actually picked up by Bo Oldfield now. Because they skipped heat 2. Anyhow, you get your chance, Bo.
Yes, I think you'll find we'll probably just make heat 2, heat 3. Shouldn't be much of a worry at all.
No, if you're actually in the second heat, it's probably actually going to help you because the track is going to be a little bit more slicker, and it'll allow for drivers to utilise that high line, and also we might even get to see some slide jobs.
Correct. So as we get back underway with a modified heat 2, it's all A-OK. And up front, as they head through turn 1 and 2, down the back straight for the first time, Atkins sitting there in third. It's going to get fairly busy fairly soon, I'd say, Brett.
Yeah, it is right now, and the battle is on for third, fourth and fifth right now. It's 56 of Wyatt Brown. Then you got Sean O'Hara to his outside. And then you go back to Brock Atkins in that zero machine. They're going to go 3 wide as Hara splits Brown and Atkins. That's Brock in that zero machine. Here comes O'Hara on the inside of Wyatt Brown. 3 wide down through turn number 3 and 4. Who's going to get third at the start-finish line? It looks like it was Sean O'Hara to the naked eye. But here comes Atkins. Slide job 2 for the price of 1. Wyatt Brown into the wall. But Sean O'Hara with a great crossover.
Sean O'Hara gets a job done. Next on his list will be that of Darren Lester as Wyatt Brown looks to the inside of Brock Atkins. Pascoe gets pushed up track further back. There's a bit of contact between Brown and Atkins. Brown sticking on the inside. Atkins still trying to run that outside line, but up front it's young Nathan Scrah who will allow them drivers behind him battling, he'll just make an even bigger gap when it comes to the lead.
Yeah, he's almost taken the keys out of the house and he's locked the door on his way out as Nathan Scrark leads Leicester in that 59, the Caltex entry. But here comes O'Hara. He'll now look to the inside, down into turn number 3 and 4. Laps are starting to wind down here in heat race number 2. Nathan Scrark continues to lead. Second on the line is Leicester. O'Hara to the inside, and here comes Atkins trying to rail it upstairs into turn number 1 and 2.
O'Hara on the bottom line, Leicester and Atkins. This is your battle for second on the racetrack in Heat 2, thanks to Hooligators. O'Hara goes back to the middle, Atkins looks to the bottom, Leicester's still up top and out front. It's Nathan Scrark as there's contact in the battle for second, whack in the wall goes the 59 of Darren Leicester. They hold it together somewhat as Atkins back in the fence. And we go yellow.
I was just going to say, had we had stayed green there, Wyatt Brown, probably the big beneficiary out of that one, as he avoided three of those cars to get up into third place. I don't think Atkins is too happy there with Leicester, but I mean, that was all Atkins. He's the one that slid up into a Leicester.
Maybe he thought Leicester might have backed off, but then again, there was still at least half of the 59 machine there. So message sent, message received on the roll-around lap. Atkins will sit back in 4th, possibly, although the list being read out here at the moment might be a little different. Oh! Atkins is not a happy camper at all. Make sure the back of the 59 needs repairs after this one, and he'll be sent to the back.
Well, unfortunately for Atkins, now we've got 2 Atkins here tonight. We've got Todd and Brock. Todd in the 36, Brock in the 0 machine. Brad Pascoe's turned the fastest lap so far in this session, a 19.713. Yeah, I hooked him up with the setup too.
Well, let's see what he can do with it, Brent.
Albeit a little different from what I sent out to everybody else, but again, they're both very quick setups. So, anyhow, we go back to green as Sean O'Hara got a blinder of a start to now Pascoe. Oh, he plants the inside wall. My, oh my, that's not a good start for Brad Pascoe. He's going to lose 2 positions as Wyatt Brown in the 56 now coming after Leicester in the 59 down into turns 3 and 4. There is not too many laps left in heat race number 2.
Exactly what I was going to say there, Brent. Not too many laps left at all as Wyatt Brown looks for a big dive on Leicester. No contact that time to the inside of the 59 machine, but they're side by side down the back straight for your battle for third. Wyatt Brown inside, Leicester on the outside, and they've got company behind them as well. I believe this will be the white flag as the car goes round in a big old circle further back. Pascoe, contact there on entry with the 15 car. And we've gone yellow again. That might have even been Atkins going around at the back.
Troy Price in the 21 machine. Let's back to to have a look at the replay. And just he actually went all on his own. Just caught the inside wall all by himself. So that inside wall has caught out a couple of drivers in this heat race.
The most noticeable surely would have had to been Brad Pascoe, as that looks to be the end of heat 2. First time will be that of Nathan Scrark. Sean O'Hara, I think, got second in the end, as we await heat 3 to come out on track.
Blanks Automotive and Performance, your local car service mechanic in Murray Bridge, South Australia, takes great pride in offering our clients the very best in car servicing and automotive repairs. Services at Blanks Automotive include logbook servicing to all makes and models, and all mechanical repairs, using the highest quality engine management systems and computer diagnostic equipment in Murray Bridge. Blanks Auto can also service your new car without affecting your new car warranty. Book a repair now or call us for a free car service estimate. www.blanksautomotive.repcoservice.net.
Back on track. This one scheduled to be Heat 2, but they're going to go out as Heat 3. Slight hiccup, but doesn't matter too much at all. Your lineup will be Michael Brown and Matt Vickery. Then we go back to Jaden Noon-Trelaw and Dale Hallett. Reg Corbett and Hayden Vickers are in there as well. Jacob Todd and Jacob Burford. Trent Gosley, Bo Oldfield, Lewis Clark and Mitch Parmenter. So I'd say at least 70% of this field had a heat win last night, as we quickly update the tally from night one. And fittingly enough, Nathan Scrah there last night made it WA's 3 wins from last night go up to 4. So nice driving from Nathan Scrah.
There we go, WA. I'm going to say that... how many drivers do we have from Victoria? Because I reckon they got the most wins. But
You'll just have to wait.
Just have to wait.
No more waiting though for Heat 3, as it's on track now and it's busy straight away. 4, 5 wide across the track. Will there be contact? A few cars making contact with the concrete. Vickers and a few others as Reg Corbett gets into the side of the car up front and a wallop into the back of the second place runner. But at the moment it's all Michael Brown up front. Second is that R&J Batteries car. Then it's back to Trent Gosley in the 4, who has plenty of company at the moment.
And that's Matt Vickery back there in second position as Trent Gosley on the outside of Jaden Noon-Trelaw. That goes side by side. It's still busy in the back of the bus right now. 3 wide still for about the 7th or 8th positions on the racetrack. As there goes Clark. He slides up in front. Keep an eye on Bo Oldfield coming through the middle. But here comes Gosley now. Looking down low, down into turn number 3 and 4. They split lines, top and bottom. This track is superb right now.
Race leader is still that of Michael Brown, as we've got trouble on the front straight. Look to be the 46 machine of Dale Hallett, the 45 I should say. And we go yellow once again. Michael Brown doing a nice job out in front in the Whyalla Earthworks number 52. But this restart probably won't help him at all. He's got an absolute charging pack behind him, consisting of course, Jaden Noon-Trelaw's there, Trent Gosley, Matt Vickery. And plenty more cars behind that'll try and capitalise on this restart with about half race distance to go.
Well, I'm trying to keep an eye on Jacob Todd, Lewis Clark. Who else we've got out there? Hayden Vickers. We've also got Pimenta. He's actually turned a lap time here in this heat race of a 19.855, and albeit it's still a tenth and a half of what we've seen Brad Pascoe do, but man, I tell you, it's still a quick lap time. As we've got Michael Brown, looks like he's been relegated 2 spots. Now, with being relegated 2 spots, one can only assume that that wasn't a fair initial start from the 52 machine.
I think you'll find that would be near on the only explanation, as Michael Brown will now be sitting behind Trent Gosley and Matt Vickery as Heat 3 gets ready to get back underway. Trent Gosley will lead him to the line. Matt Vickery second, then it's back to Brown, Jaden Noon-Trelaw and Hayden Vickers as they head down into turn 1 and 2. Ripping start from Trent Gosley. Vickery thought he was going to have company from the American branded car there, but that wasn't to be the case as Michael Brown looks to the inside. Noon-Trelaw tries to follow him through, but Trent Gosley has checked out after the restart.
Yeah, here comes Brown up on the inside now, looking for second spot as Noon-Trelaw tries to go down low there on Vickers, but right now Vickery holds on to the second spot on the racetrack. Michael Brown third, and here comes Vickers. Car into the wall, that is Jacob Todd. Pimenta, Clark got into the back of him, but Pimenta barely just missing the situation. And there's only about 6 or 7 car lengths between these 7 or 8 cars here in this one that are fighting it out for the minor place.
This is going to get messy!
Oh boy! Parking lot down in the back straight away.
Hayden Vickers got tangled up in that one as well. So that won't be too good at all for the 15 machine. As we go yellow. They were out of shape on entry and then they got very busy through the middle of turn 1 and 2 there, Brett. And then on the exit, all the cars sort of just wanted the same piece of real estate and it wasn't going to happen.
4 into 1 on the back straightaway generally does not work out 95% of the time, but yellow flag back out to you. Who was lucky to get through most of that was Mitchell Pimenta in that 69 machine. He does have some front end damage. He's actually got some rear end damage on that 69 machine as well, but I tell you what, he's had a tough time here in heat race number 3, but he has progressed forward.
Slowly but surely would be the way to explain Parmenta's movement at the moment. Hayden Vickers still sitting there in 3rd after starting initially from 6, finding himself behind Trent Gosley and Matt Vickery as we try that restart once again. Jaden Noon-Trelaw back in 4th, Jacob Todd rounding out your top 5 as we get back underway in Heat 3. Not too many laps to be turned in this one at all, as Trent Gosley gets another ripping start. Jacob Todd slides up on Jaden Noon-Trelaw and now finds himself side by side. There's plenty of cars, but oh, there's contact up top. Jaden Noon-Trelaw, the loser out of that one, loses spots to almost a quarter of the field.
I'm watching Jacob Todd down to the low side, watching Pimenta as well. They both work low, but here comes Bo Oldfield in that number 84 machine. He's working to the outside down into turns 3 and 4. Clark, he's got company on the inside. He'll drive around. I believe that is Jacob Todd here on the exit of turn 4. Man, you can throw a blanket over these cars right now. There's not a lot in it.
Trent Gosley still up front. Then it's back to Vickery and Vickers as we've got contact at the back between Jacob Todd, Noon-Trelaw, Bo Oldfield in there as well. 4 wide further back, there's contact between Oldfield and I think it was Reg Corbett. Oldfield goes back, Pimenta up the top, Corbett's in the fence! Oh, Reg is facing the wrong way for sure. Michael Brown gets caught up in it as well, slides and wallops the fence. They stay green up front. And now the yellows come out.
Wowee. That was on for young and old. There was everything happening here. So you take a look at the replay, you see the left-hand side of your screen there, the 11 car, and there goes Brown. But yeah, that all started out of turn 4, and again, drivers just not giving each other a bit of room. But man, when you're on the racetrack, you can only imagine that you don't want to have to give up that space. And unfortunately, in fact, it was Pimenta who actually come off the wall. He hit the wall out of turn 4. Yeah, I tell you what, Corbett give Bo Oldfield a little bit of a short back and sides.
And then filtered afterwards on the way into turn 1 facing the wrong way. There's that hit between Corbett and Oldfield. Then of course Reg Corbett just out of shape with Parmenta and Michael Brown. A wrong place, wrong time for sure. As they declare Heat 3, your heat winner will be, I think it was Trent Gosley in the end, of course. That was Heat 3, Heat 4 out on track next.
Blanks Automotive and Performance, your local car service mechanic in Murray Bridge, South Australia, takes great pride in offering our clients the very best in car servicing and automotive repairs. Services at Blanks Automotive include logbook servicing to all makes and models, and all mechanical repairs, using the highest quality engine management systems and computer diagnostic equipment in Murray Bridge. Blanks Auto can also service your new car without affecting your new car warranty. Book a repair now or call us for a free car service estimate. www.blanksautomotive.repcoservice.net.
As we get ready for the next heat on track. It's heat 4. Thanks to Scotty's RC, of course thanks to Blanks Automotive and Performance as well. And this one will have David Smith, Jake Skilton off the front, Danny Cox and Tyson Moon. Then it's back to Mark Montague and Mitch Blenkiron, Andy Maxwell Jr., Sean Black, Darcy Wilson, Jake Hamilton, and off the back, Aston Hurley and Damon Mush. And I'll quickly update you on that tally from last night. Drivers from Victoria managed to rack up 8 wins, I should say. The USA, as I said, done a good job. They had 6.
Interesting stats coming through. Heat race number 4. The green flag is out. The penultimate heat race of the night. They go 5 wide down through turn number 1 and 2. They're 3 wide for the race lead. Oh no! Look out! Look out!
Somehow, they all stay on all 4s. I'm slightly disappointed.
Yes, we're expecting some virtual rollovers here. Sean Black in the 26. Look at this thing. Look at that. That rear end is busted in that race car. That pretty much should be the end of his heat race unless he goes back into pit road and he has the world's quickest mechanics on tappers. If he does go back onto pit road and gets that car repaired, he will actually come back out onto the racetrack. But yeah, that was a little scary for some of those drivers. 5 wide down into turns 1 and 2, Kai.
Yeah, it was busy would certainly be the word. I'm just focusing on Sean Black here. It looks as if he's going to try and wheel that car. That would be handling like an absolute dog. And good luck to him. Off the restart, I'd be staying well away from the 26 machine because no matter how good of a driver Sean Black is, I don't think the stick could drive that car.
And I'll give anyone $10 that can wheel that thing and pass cars.
Well, he'll get $10 for the heat win, so his money could still be safe as Tyson Moon looks to be going to the back of the bus. As we're going to try that start once again.
Sean Black's going back to position 6. This is dangerous.
And this is very, very dangerous. Keep an eye on the 26 machine.
If I'm in 8th, I want to start on the inside. I want to just get straight to the bottom. There's no way that car is going to go off the start. Here we go. Heat 4 restart.
Skilton and Smith off the front as in the back of the field. David's, the 26 car of Sean Black looks like it's facing the bar. As they head through turn 1 and 2. 3 wide up front, 4 wide back further. Maxwell, contact, whack into the fence on the inside. Looks as if he kept it together. And we should stay green, maybe go yellow. We'll soon find out.
So far, we're still green right now. Man, they're still fighting all over the racetrack. Cars hitting each other.
Up below!
Look out, everybody! They're hitting each other and they're hitting the walls and they keep it going, but right now we'll go yellow. Oh, was that Black that just caught the inside wall again? Oh man, poor old Sean Black. Have a look at this replay. He tries to just cut it down a little lower. I don't know whether he was trying to drive that thing into pit road or not, but man, he made a big boo-boo on that one.
Good recovery, straight back on the gas. But that has not gone well at all for the 26 machine. So I'm sure we'll give it a crack at restarting again.
I mean, that's not a bad effort. If he manages to somehow finish his heat race with a busted rear end in that race car, there's so much damage on the front of that race car that it's almost starting to look like a mud light.
You're not wrong. I was just focusing on the fact that the diff is almost in a different state on the 26 car. I think we're right though. He's going to try and restart it again from the back, so he might even be in front of a few cars on the restart. We'll soon find out. But up front, it's Jake Skilton who leaves David Smith, Mark Montague, Mitch Blenkiron, Jacob Hamilton. That's your top 5 as we get back underway in Heat 4. Second to last heat for the weekend as we head down into turn 1 and 2. Skilton, Smith, Montague, Blenkiron and Hamilton. Then we go back to Damon Mush, who was strong last night. Looks to the inside of Hamilton now. Can't do anything about it though, as Mitch Blenkiron up further on the track. Has a look underneath that of Mark Montague. Skilton still your race leader, but they're side by side for the battle for second. Montague inside, Smith outside, and Blenkiron right behind him, and here comes the 99 machine as well.
And Trent Gosley starting to make some moves, take some names, tick them off the list as that 99, keep an eye on. He finished second in the Australian title about 6 weeks ago, but man, again, you can throw a blanket. Here we go, 3 wide down the back straight away. It'll be 2 wide, nearly 3 wide, back again down through turns 3 and 4. Hurley trying to keep it locked down on the bottom side, but how about Jacob Hamilton on the outside now, right on the cushion in turns 1 and 2. Oh boy, look out, we're still 3 and 4 wide out of turn number 2. If you don't mind, it is on.
Final corner for the heat as Hamilton gets it all out of shape, and it's going to be Jake Skilton up front. Second will be Mark Montague. Third is absolutely anyone's guess, but I think Damon Bush might have even got the way there. I might have called that one a bit early, Brent.
Not the only one we've called early, but look at the battle on for the race lead. Skilton, can he hang on? They're 3 wide. Oh no, Bush got turned on the start-finish sign. I'm going to call that one. We're going to call that one the checkered flag as Hurley nearly goes upside down. Have a look at Hurley.
Ah.
Oh boy, giddy up, cowboy. I don't even think
seconds.
To call that one.
I think seconds. Anyone's guess, second and third, but it's a certainty. Jake Skilton was your heat winner. Heat 5, the final heat of the weekend, up next.
Hula Gators is a proudly Australian-owned small business importing and selling top-quality American die-cast models. Hula Gators are authorised Australian dealers from a number of American die-cast companies, including Lionel, Auto World, Acme, GMB, and R&R sprint car models, along with 1RC racing remote control speedway models. Hula Gators proudly support and sponsor all forms of motorsport. Find us at Adelaide International Raceway drag meetings and Murray Bridge and Borderline speedways. For more information, visit hulagator.com.au. Hula Gators, #1 for all American die-cast models for over 20 years.
Final heat of the weekend. We must thank Hula Gators, die-cast models, Blanks Automotive and Performance and Blanks Automotive Racing, Scotty's RC, Mini Doors, and of course our major sponsor for the weekend, Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services. They have years of experience across light and heavy industrial as well as resource sectors. They are your maintenance and reliability professionals. Their team of professionals can assist with CMMS master data, optimising maintenance strategies, creating documentation, improving reliability, consulting. So whether fixed plant, mobile or infrastructure, AEAMS can help. Contact them at www.aeams.com.au. That's Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services. We must give a big shout out to them for putting this show on this weekend as Heat 5 rolls out on track. And you'll find Steve Fawns up the front. Alongside him will be that of Riley Jarrett. Then it's back to Blake Depenay, Braden Sims, Michael Hazelden and Mitch Clark in the middle. John Ruby and Matty Tyler starting out as 7th and 8th. Maverick Fisher and Brandon Dobritz. William Hargraves and the quick Tyler Bish off the back. It's Steve Fawns and Riley Jarrett. It's Heat 5, another 8-lap journey, the final 8-lap journey for the weekend in the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt $250 to win event. They are green. They head down into turn 1 and 2. It's Steve Fawns and Riley Jarrett. An early move there from one of the American cars as they're up near the fence fairly quick. Matty Tyler's in trouble at the back. Oh, they're all in trouble at the back. There's 3 cars back there that have come together. And we will go yellow, I think.
I believe that was Hasseldine in the 17. Again, all just stemming from the exit of turn 2 and on the back straight away. Again, 3 cars fighting for the top side of the racetrack. Unfortunately, they weren't all side by side in the 17 of Michael Hasseldine. Well, he got the short end of that straw and he goes to the back of the field.
As they roll around, Brett, I think you've been waiting long enough, I think, and my little bit of homework last night proved that the state or territory that got the most heat wins last night, they've even added another one tonight, but Queensland, the drivers out of Queensland managed to get double figures, 10 heat wins out of 30 to the northern state.
It's not a bad effort from the Queenslanders. One third of the heat wins went to Queensland. 2/3, everybody else.
The next 2/3 really is, as we said, between Victoria and USA, but yep, if you're looking for a team sort of base sort of stat to go off, Queensland, pat yourself on the back.
Wouldn't that be a cool event? Teams racing. You know how the GP, the Speedway Grand Prix do it? You know, you got the colours. You have 4 drivers or 5 drivers, 4 teams, and yeah, I think that'd be a pretty cool event. I know Oz Sim Racing did one a couple of years ago, but anyhow, we're going back to green flag action here in the final heat of the night before we move into the 2B mains, and then of course the 50-lap main event. Oh, we got a car around in turns 1 and 2, and I think that might have been Fisher in that bright yellow number 54 machine.
I hate to say it, but I think a similar car was involved at the back there again, the Hazelden car, with the Queensland Roma windscreens car of Fisher. As we're going to go to a single file restart to try and make it third time lucky. Rollover count still at approximately 9.
Is that John Deere on the side of that car? Is that a John Deere logo? It is. Have a look at Riley Jarrett. Take a look, take a good old Captain Cook of that car. He's got John Deere on that one.
Don't say the word case around him.
Okay. I'm guessing he loves these John Deere tractors then.
As long as the 44 machine doesn't run like a tractor. It's running like clockwork at the moment, sitting in second.
It's running like a deer apparently.
Can he get past Stephen Fawns? That's the question. I'm sure they're going to have company from Blake Depenay as well.
Braden Sims in that 16 car being sent to the rear end of the field as well, so not sure the call on that one, but we'll trust race control. They know what they're doing. It's such a thankless job, isn't it? I would hate to do race control.
That's why I'm on here with you, Brett.
Why do you think I started doing this?
As we get ready to get back underway, the only calls we make here are the ones that you see as it's all happening. Stephen Fawns heads into turn 1 and 2, the John Deere right behind, and Matty Tyler goes for a big dive in the 14 Sauber Money car underneath Clark as Depenay catches the fence, and the Roma windscreens machine is going for a big lunge into turn 3 and 4. Manages to keep it fairly tight. The battle for second is 3 wide now.
Mitchell Clark in that zero machine, they'll nearly go 4 wide as Tyler gets into the wall. There's some contact, but again, this battle right now, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, we'll throw 6th and 7th in there as well. They're nearly 2 by 2 by 2 down through turn number 1 and 2, and Stephen Fawns in that number 20, the 38 machine, sorry, he continues to lead the race, but here comes Clark. They'll go 3 wide down into turn number 1 and 2.
Clark on the inside of the tractor, Riley Jarrett at the wheel of the 44 John Deere machine. Race leader is still that of Fawns. The battle's on for second. Clark though might slide up and get him. No, he won't. The 44 of Jarrett runs up around the top. Then it's back to Depenay and the 75 car coming into the picture now as well. Not too many to run this time. Jarrett still there in second, battling with that of Mitchell Clark. Then it's back to Fisher. We've got nearly trouble in the middle of turn 3 and 4. It might happen on the main straight though. Yes, it will. Jarrett's up in the fence. Oh, he's almost over.
That doesn't count as a flip cat. He's actually reversed that car back on pit road, but we're going to go yellow. And, well, he's certainly going to have to get a John Deere tractor out to move that 44 if he wants to gain any more position, because That's not the finish that well, that's not the heat race that he would have liked. But I tell you what, Stephen Fawns, how about he's doing a stellar job at the moment?
He is. He's just got off to a good start every restart and kept out of trouble. That is Stephen Fawns out in front as the 44 car possibly going to the infield or to the rear. He's not going very fast at all. That's the main observation point. Second now will be that of Mitchell Clark, Blake Depenay, Lyle Fisher, Brandon Dobritz. Plenty of Americans in this one. Matthew Tyler, Tyler Bish, William Hargraves. A lot of the Dirt Panda Motorsport team in this one. That's your majority of your field as they run around into turn 3 and 4 and get set for a restart once again. Back underway with Stephen Fawns, your race leader. Then it's back to Clark. Depenay just tags a fence. Fisher's right there as well. Then it's back to Dobritz, who might even have a look on the inside of Fisher. Can he get the run out of turn 4? We'll soon find out, Brett.
Yeah, it's going to be on right now for the race leaders. Clark, he'll cut it down to the low side out of turn number 2. Stephen Fawns a little sideways and loose out of turn 2. And Mitchell Clark, your new race leader. But here comes the double slider. As I believe that's Depenay. And then you go back to Fisher as well. Fisher now the rubber ends greens, number 29 machine. He'll move into second position. Down into turns 1 and 2. And cars are slowing up, and we might have gone checkered just then.
I think you'll find we sure did. So Mitchell Clark, after sitting third for the majority of the race, has managed to get the win. Maverick Fisher will finish second. And Depenay will be your final third place getter when it comes to heats. And that is the only round of heats for tonight. 2 B mains coming up. Now they're going to work. It's going to be the top 4 from each of the B mains will tag off the back of the top 16 in points, so automatically the lineup for the A main. So 2 B mains coming up. The A main later on, it's a 50 lap journey, that one. But for the moment, we're going to have a slight interval, around 10 to 15 or so minutes. We'll play a few ads, and we'll even come back with Nate Truan, the young lad from MVP hosted Brett, who has put all this together. So we'll have a chat with him in just a few minutes.
Mini Motorsport Doors, the leading edge in motorsport memorabilia. Provides replica race car doors for your team and your favourite drivers. With sponsor recognition, event trophy opportunities, or even just a gift, we have all your needs covered. We are now available for your orders. Just contact our Facebook or Instagram page for more details on our competitive pricing and orders to suit your every need.
Blanks Automotive and Performance, your local car service mechanic in Murray Bridge, South Australia, takes great pride in offering our clients the very best in car servicing and automotive repairs. Services at Blanks Automotive include logbook servicing to all makes and models, and all mechanical repairs, using the highest quality engine management systems and computer diagnostic equipment in Murray Bridge. Blanks Auto can also service your new car without affecting your new car warranty. Book a repair now or call us for a free car service estimate. www.blanksautomotive.repcoservice.net.
Gators is a proudly Australian-owned small business importing and selling top-quality American die-cast models. Gators are authorised Australian dealers from a number of American die-cast companies, including Lionel, Auto World, Acme, GMD, and R&R sprint car models, along with 1RC racing remote control speedway models. Gators proudly support and sponsor all forms of motorsport. Find us at Adelaide International Raceway drag meetings and Murray Bridge and Borderline speedways. For more information, visit hooligator.com.au. Gators, number 1 for all American diecast models for over 20 years.
My name is Stephen Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. Then from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing. My name is Stephen Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. Then from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
Hula Gators is a proudly Australian-owned small business importing and selling top-quality American diecast models. Hula Gators are authorised Australian dealers from a number of American diecast companies, including Lionel, Auto World, Acme, GMB, and R&R sprint car models, along with 1RC racing remote control speedway models. Hula Gators proudly support and sponsor all forms of motorsport. Find us at Adelaide International Raceway drag meetings and Murray Bridge and Borderline speedways. For more information, visit hulagator.com.au. Hula Gators, #1 for all American diecast models for over 20 years.
Blanks Automotive and Performance, your local car service mechanic in Murray Bridge, South Australia, takes great pride in offering our clients the very best in car servicing and automotive repairs. Services at Blanks Automotive include logbook servicing to all makes and models, and all mechanical repairs, using the highest quality engine management systems and computer diagnostic equipment in Murray Bridge. Blanks Auto can also service your new car without affecting your new car warranty. Book a repair now or call us for a free car service estimate. www.blanksautomotive.repcoservice.net.
Mini Motorsport Doors, the leading edge in motorsport memorabilia. Provides replica race car doors for your team and your favourite drivers. With sponsor recognition, event trophy opportunities, or even just a gift, we have all your needs covered. We are now available for your orders. Just contact our Facebook or Instagram page for more details on our competitive pricing and orders to suit your every need.
Hula Gators is a proudly Australian-owned small business importing and selling top-quality American diecast models. Hula Gators are authorised Australian dealers from a number of American diecast companies, including Lionel, Auto World, Acme, GMB, and R&R sprint car models, along with 1RC racing remote control speedway models. Hula Gators proudly support and sponsor all forms of motorsport. Find us at Adelaide International Raceway drag meetings and Murray Bridge and Borderline speedways. For more information, visit hulagator.com.au. Hula Gators, #1 for all American diecast models for over 20 years.
Well, Brett Wheeler, it's going to get... Well, it's not going to get any less busy from here on in, I can tell you that much. B Main A, thanks to Blinks Automotive and Performance and Hooligators, will be out on track very, very shortly, followed by B Main 2 from Scotty's RCs and Mini Motorsport Doors. Now, as I said earlier, it's going to be... I like this new sort of format, you know. 2 B Mains and the top 4 from each going through to tag onto the back 16 in points are already in the A main, making a 24 car field for the 50 lap final.
Yeah, it's, you know, you obviously, you know, you get these types of formats at the big events, and you know, when you've got as much money on the line as $250 to the winner here tonight, you know, for a bit of sim racing, you know, you can spend realistically, by the time you wait around, you know, say you look at 4 hours, if you win tonight, $250 for 4 hours worth of fun and enjoyment, that's not a bad way to spend 4 hours.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all, considering a tidy entry fee of $15. As that B main looks to roll out on track, while they line up, I might just quickly go through the A main. The top 16 in points after all the heats have been run, Brett. Now, if it was real life, I'd say get your pens out and write down in your program, but I don't think too many people will be doing that. But you've got this to look forward to in the A main. Off the front will be Todd Atkins and Damon Mush. Trent Gosley and Mitchell Parmenter will be starting out of 3rd and 4th in the A. Brad Pascoe and Lewis Clark out of 5th and 6th. Maverick Fisher and Tyler McQuilkin 7th and 8th. Aston Hurley and Tyler Bish will be 9th and 10th. Clark and Anthony Miley 11th and 12th. Hayden Vickers and Brandon Dobritz will be 13th and 14th. William Hargraves and Sean O'Hara will be 15th and 16th. So that's your top 16 in points so far, as we see B main 1 roll out on track.
Tell you what, you'd feel gutted right now if you start on pole of B main 1 or B main number 2, because that just means you just missed the cut in, you know, direct transfer into the main event, and now these drivers have got 20 long laps ahead of them if they want to make that 50 lap main event.
Yeah, you're certainly correct. I can tell you one thing, there was about 2 or 3 spots when it comes to points that we had to get the old cap back out and put a few names into it, just simply because the points were tied. So, oh well, that's the way it goes as B main 1 rolls out on track again. Thanks again to Nate Trill and the effort he's put in this weekend, Brett. He's only 15. This is actually for a school project, so I think he's doing a stellar job, and it's running relatively smoothly. A few hiccups here and there, but again, a good effort.
I mean, yeah, 15 in a school project, and you put on a race that, you know, has over 100 entries and pays $250 to the winner. Yeah, hats off to Nate and everybody behind the scenes that have put this show on. Glad just to be a part of it along with yourself, Guy.
Yeah, it's been good. I'll be honest, I did not know what to expect commentating on the virtual world, but it's been fairly juicy and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Bo Oldfield and Darcy Wilson will be off your front row for this B main. Behind them will be Mark Montague and Jacob Todd. Sean Stevens and Jacob Burford will be 5th and 6th. Skilton and Thomas Hunter 7th and 8th. And it's back to Aidan Scrar, Sean Black, Mitch Blenkiron, Wade Baker out of 11th and 12th. 13th and 14th is Blake Deponay and John Ruby. Then we go back to Kenneth Mankey and Brighton Wells. Darren Plugger McCarthy is back there with Tyson Moon. 19th, 20th, 21st and 22nd is Steve Fawns, Braden Sims, David Smith, Michael Brown. That's your first B main lineup. Top 4 go through to the 50 lap final. Brett, take it away.
Big field here as we're going to go green next time, but it looks like, because it looks like race control just making sure that the drivers are in the correct positions. Probably just, you name off about 25 or 26 drivers in B main.
22 in each B main.
That's a big field. That's nearly a full field. That's nearly an A main lineup.
It's not real life, so I might be able to say it without feeling too guilty. Rollover count, please. Approximately 9 at the moment. We'll try and get through it as quick as we can, but anything can happen.
Oh, I mean, yeah, flip a coin on what we're going to get here in this B main. The pace pickens up. B main number 1 is underway, and Darcy Wilson got a good start on the outside. Bo Oldfield, he'll miss the inside wall down into turn number 1. He'll throw the slider, but Wilson turns it back underneath in the races for the lead. Down the back straight away. Oldfield will work the cushion upstairs into turn number 3
trouble for the back.
Uh-oh, parking lot at Eldora Speedway in turns 3 and 4, and nobody upside down.
Plenty of drivers involved in that. There's Montague, Darren McCarthy, the 16 of Sims was there, Mitch Blenkiron got caught up, and David Smith. Majority of them were already at the back, David Smith at least. The rest of them from the mid-pack, and that sees our first caution of the B main. First B main, I should say. Again, thanks to Blinks Automotive and Performance, Hula Gators Speedway Merchandise, Scotty's RC, Mini Motorsport Doors, and of course Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services for this weekend. So not too sure what the outcome's going to be there, Brett, in terms of who goes where off the restart. A few messages being sent mid-track by the drivers.
Yeah, I think they just need to calm down, because I mean there's 20 laps now. I understand that they all want to get into the show, and it's easy for us to sit up here and say this and say that, but I guess when we're out on the racetrack, you don't want to say this, you don't want to say that. Pace is actually starting to pick up again here out of turn number 4. Maybe looking for a start. No, next time by. And I'm curious to see if actually Bo Oldfield has got that setup in that I give to him along with everybody else.
Do you think he would have put it in?
Well, he sent me a message saying this set better be fast.
So, we'll find out after the race. If he doesn't make it, expect your inbox to have Bo Oldfield written all over it.
Look, I can't control the driver. Okay? I can give you a setup, but whether it comes to controlling it or not, I mean, it was a fairly simple setup, so they should be. Actually, one thing that I did forget to change on there, but it's not a big difference now, is it's actually the steering ratio.
You mentioned earlier a little bit of a secret that this setup that you might have set out is somewhat similar to the original one iRacing gives you for the Eldora virtual track.
Yes, couple of adjustments on the shocks and what they call the leaf spring rates on the left and right rear. Stagger adjustment. One thing I didn't change was the steering ratio. Now I generally use a 4:1 steering ratio and not a 6:1.
I see. I'm sure everyone watching interested who's got the iRacing account will be noting that down as we get ready to go back underway. Bo Oldfield and Darcy Wilson with Mark Montague right behind them as they head through turn 1 and 2, and it's busy straight away. Almost 4 wide mid-corner, they're 3 wide down the back straight. There's a little bit of contact as we head into turn 3 and 4 for the first time. We should get the lap in this time by. Darcy Wilson still sitting second in behind Bo Oldfield. Then it's back to Montague, the 26 machine. That one being Sean Stevens. Then it's, oh, look out! The car flies up into the sky, and that, Brett, surely that's going to be classed as a rollover.
Oh, there's definitely a rollover. Thomas Hunter was actually stuck in the wall, and yeah, he went upside down. That was a huge ride. You ready for this one? What? This is scary. Oh, ouch. That's not what you want to see when you're on the back straightaway. Who was in that 20 car? Because they certainly didn't miss him. Burford it was. Is it Jake Burford?
It sure was, but I think you'll find absolutely nowhere to go. There it is again, wacko. Burford nowhere to go and sends the green machine almost to the canteen. Mitch Blenkiron got slapped around there as well. So as we clean that up and try and get the field back into position, Aidan Scrara involved as well as Tyson Moon. We'll get back underway very shortly, but the approximate rollover count has hit double digits.
I did say there was going to be basically 4 extra rollovers tonight, and we're We're quarter of the way there. Now I'm interested because I know Bo listens and watches the stream, especially while he's driving. If he's got his phone on him, or if he's able to...
I tell you what, we'll get him to swerve the car if he's got the setup in.
There you go. Bo, if you're listening and you've got the setup in, go to the low side right away. Now, by the time the delay comes in on that, it should be about 5 to 10 seconds.
Oh, there's the swerve!
Yeah, he's got it in. He's got it in. If he goes low here... Yeah. Now, there's a reason why he's fast.
Oh, so it's official. Oldfield running the Wheeler setup. It'll be interesting to see who keeps with him, because there's a very, very high chance that they might have the same thing in as well.
Again, like I said, there was at least 40 to 50 message drivers that weren't even in tonight's show have been asking for that set, and I'm happy to provide that set to them. But we go back to green flag here in B main, and number 1, Bo Oldfield leads Darcy Wilson out of turn 4, and we'll go down into turn number 1 and 2 here. The resumption of B main number 1. Look at the 43 machine work on the outside, and they go back to Jacob Todd as well. He was on the inside, but was unable to make the move as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Oldfield opening up a little bit of an advantage over Darcy Wilson.
Yeah, that top 6 early stringing away as Montague catches the fence. So does Stroud back in the field. A trend starting to begin now as they start to run up near the fence once again. Up front, your race leader is Bo Oldfield. The 5 of Darcy Wilson's right with him as we focus on this little battle pack for second. It's Montague, the 26 car. 43 of Skilton's in there as well as Jacob Todd looks to the bottom of Skilton. They're 3 wide with the 26. They make it through turn 3. Sean Stevens, the loser out of all that, is Montague. Shoots back away. Skilton back in 4th. Looks like we're going to go yellow.
Yeah, that was a good battle there for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, and it was 4 cars fighting for the final 2 transfer positions. But Bo Oldfield and Darcy Wilson, man, they were just starting to put on their own little show right now. Looking at some previous lap times, Darcy Wilson's last lap was a 20.178. Bo Oldfield with a 20.228. So half a tenth of a second between the pair. And when we compared to the lap times at the start of the night, the quickest driver was Brad Pascoe with a 19.713. So about 4 to 5 tenths of a second off what we were turning, or what these drivers were turning there at the start of the night in the opening couple of heat races.
Yeah, possibly a little bit more busy in this here B main, but I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised at all if Oldfield, Wilson, if Mark Montague can stick with them, turn out some good lap times once again. I think we'll go for another roll around lap. Montague sitting in 3rd, then it's back to Sean Stevens. Top 5 at the moment, rounded out by Jake Skilton. So he is right on the bubble of the transfer, of course. 4 going through to the A main. Skilton, Jacob Todd, Scrar, Sean Black, Gary Burford, Mitch Blenkai and Tyson Moon. That's roughly your top 10, as we've got a little bit of a kerfuffle on the front straight under yellows. Sorted itself out.
We nearly added a tally to the flip count under yellow. That would have been...
Under yellow. That would have been absolutely spectacular, Brett.
Yeah, you don't often see that, but... I mean, it's happening. Drivers, not wanting to give up the positions, and I'm going to tell you what, busy time for race control to get all these drivers in line and intact as the pace is picking up, but I believe we're going to go green flag next time by.
So as I said, keep an eye on possibly Jake Skilton and Jacob Todd. Them 2 drivers sitting right on the transfer bubble at the moment. Sean Black, Gary Burford, Aidan Scrar, all names that are just behind them. A bit of a gap happening here between the top 4 and the 5th position of Jake Skilton, just on the roll-around lap. Now Skilton might be trying to get an advantage for himself, but it's not going to help the drivers behind him at all.
And you can actually see Jacob Todd actually just giving him a little bit of a bump, trying to push him up to the back of the 26 of Stevens. As here we go, green flag is back out here in B main number 1. Stevens now to the inside on the number 1 machine. That's of our Montague. And here comes Skilton. Look at Jacob Todd to the inside. 3 wide on the low side.
Todd inside. The 26 machine is right there on the inside. Darcy Wilson and Bo Oldfield still up front, but it's all happening for the battle for third between Jacob Todd, Mark Montague and Sean Stevens. Skilton's there as well. And a car sneaking in behind them would be Skrar, I believe. Then it's back to the 26 of Sean Black, as cars look to be slowing once again.
Nice to see that 26 of Sean Black got the crew on that car, got that rear end fixed, and nice to see it's all straightened up as well in the front end somewhat.
Or possibly pulled out the spare car from the monumentally sized hauler.
Yeah, I reckon they can get 3 cars in that one. And my God, some of them have needed it here tonight.
Looks as if we should be going green again very, very soon. Oldfield and Darcy Wilson up front thinking, what are they doing behind us? Jacob Todd now sits in third. Montague and Stevens, that's your top 5. Skilton dropped through that little part of racing, dropped back to the 6th position. Then it's back to Skrar, Black, and plenty more at the back with plenty of work to do.
Tell you what, it's nice to see that security guards have taken the keys from the grader away from Tony Stewart, and they've actually locked Tony Stewart out in the back shed so he can't actually access the grader. So the track is going to progress all night. We're not going to see that tractor come out, and we're not going to see this racetrack being reset at any time during the night here tonight.
Yeah, expect it to be right up on the fence. Slide Job City come maybe even B-Main 2 as we've got a little bit to go in this first B-Main of the night. Bo Oldfield tags the fence, so does Darcy Wilson on entry. Jacob Todd there in third. Then it's back to Montague. And the 26 of Stevens gets out of shape, allows that's Jake Skilton to have a look underneath. They're very, very busy in the back of the field as well. Then it's back to Sean Black, who's got past Aidan Skrar, and that's roughly your top 10 as they head back into turn 1 and 2. Your top 3 really running up near the concrete. Further back a car wallops the fence. But up front, the battle's on. Wilson looks to the inside of Bo Oldfield.
Now Oldfield protected that bottom side down through turn number 3 and 4, but here comes Wilson. Will he try the slide into 1 and 2? Yes, he does. Oldfield turns underneath him. Wilson tags the wall, and here comes Todd now. Top 3, nearly nose to tail. Here comes Todd with a big slide job down into turn number 3 and 4. He gets them both, but both of them, they'll go 3 wide for the race lead. Oldfield, Wilson, and Todd. It is on right now. Slide Job City.
Darcy Wilson caught the fence. Oldfield back on the inside with Jacob Todd down the bottom. So it's Todd, Oldfield. There's trouble back further. A car spinning out of turn 2, but the battle up front isn't going to stop, although it might, because I think we're going to go yellow once again. Darcy Wilson, Bo Oldfield, and Jacob Todd putting on a marvellous show here at the moment. 4th and 5th is still Mark Montague and Jake Skilton. There's the 16 car of Braden Sims pulling back out onto the track. Hell, that could have been messy, but up front, Jacob Todd back underneath Bo Oldfield. Oldfield on the outside. Darcy Wilson still right there with him as they go through turn 1 and 2 again. Wilson smacks the fence. Bo Oldfield tags the back of Jacob Todd. This is your battle for the top 3 at the moment. It's Todd, Oldfield, Wilson. Bo Oldfield looks back to the bottom, slides up in front of Jacob Todd. This isn't going to stop anytime soon, Brent.
The only time it's going to stop is when race control bring up the yellow flag, and let's hopefully that it doesn't come out. Wilson absolutely annihilating the concrete wall in 1 and 2, just behind the 2 guys out in front, Bo Oldfield and Jacob Todd. Todd now again back to the inside. Look at Wilson trying to make it happen on the low side. He thought about going for the double slide job down into 1 and 2, but instead he rides the cushion and absolutely trying to knock down the concrete fence in turns 1 and 2.
Lap after lap, this battle up front is going on and on, although we're going slow and slow. I think you'll find that'll be yellow. Trouble further back in the field. The 26 car possibly involved. As cars continue to roll around on track. And the top three, well, who's the leader? Brett? It's changing every corner.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. Well, the way they're rolling around, I mean, Oldfield had it, and then Jacob Todd tries to take the lead, and you know he wants it back. He wants to contest that one, but I tell you what, it's not only for the lead, but you've got drivers, you know, from fourth on back who are also trying to fight for those top four position. But I got to say, these three drivers of Jacob Todd, Darcy Wilson, and Bo Oldfield have put on an absolute clinic here over these past probably 6 or 7 laps.
Yeah, Darcy Wilson probably the one pushing the hardest in terms of stats, as Bo Oldfield got his heat win last night. Jacob Todd had 2. Darcy Wilson, though, just consistent through the night, but really starting to push now. I think there's about 3 laps to go as we get back underway. Bo Oldfield, your race leader at the moment anyway.
Well, how will it stand for the rest of the B-Mainers? Oldfield now pulls clear about 3 lengths as here comes Wilson to the inside on Todd. Todd now, he'll use the crossover line out of turn number 4. He'll get back to second spot at the start and finish line, but where will he go into turn number 1 and 2? Mid-track slides up to the cushion. Wilson getting a good run. He'll pull alongside him down out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
Bo Oldfield, after starting off the front row, is still your race leader at the moment. Second, that of Jacob Todd. Then it's back to Darcy Wilson. The battle's on for the transfer spot between Jake Skilton and Mark Montague. Final lap next time by. It's Oldfield, Jacob Todd, Darcy Wilson, Jacob Skilton and Mark Montague, though. That's your transfer spot, and that is where the battle was at there for a moment, although it dissolved a little bit on the entry into turn 3 and 4, but with half a lap to go, Bo Oldfield is looking to be okay, although I think that might have been the check-in. Certainly was the check-in.
Now that doesn't count as a flip count either, because
no, don't have enough fingers for what just happened there on the back straight.
Well, B-Main number 1 is complete. B-Main number 2 up next on the other side of this.
Mini Motorsport Doors, the leading edge in motorsport memorabilia. Provides replica race car doors for your team and your favourite drivers. With sponsor recognition, event trophy opportunities, or even just a gift, we have all your needs covered. We are now available for your orders. Just contact our Facebook or Instagram page for more details on our competitive pricing and orders to suit your every need.
Blanks Automotive and Performance, your local car service mechanic in Murray Bridge, South Australia, takes great pride in offering our clients the very best in car servicing and automotive repairs. Services at Blanks Automotive include logbook servicing to all makes and models, and all mechanical repairs, using the highest quality engine management systems and computer diagnostic equipment in Murray Bridge. Blanks Auto can also service your new car without affecting your new car warranty. Book a repair now or call us for a free car service estimate. www.blanksautomotive.repcoservice.net.
The first B-main of the night, all run and won. Bo Oldfield was your race winner in the first B main of the night, so he'll be starting off of 17th in the feature later on tonight. Jacob Todd, Darcy Wilson, Mark Montague, 2nd, 3rd and 4th starting in the A in that order. Now you might ask yourself, Brett, where did Jake Skilton go? Ran out of fuel on the last lap.
Oh, you hate to see it, don't you? You really do.
Battling to the transfer, and he runs out of fuel.
What a poor guy. I know what it feels like to run out of fuel, but not for a transfer, that's for sure.
So that was the story out of the first B main. We added one to the rollover count. B main 2, thanks again to Scotty's RC Parts and Mini Motorsport Doors. They bring you this next 20 lap journey. And your lineup will look like this. Jake Armstrong off the front row alongside Casey O'Connell. Brock Atkins and Bradley Vickery will be a juicy second row. Then it's back to Murray Bridge races in Jake Hamilton and Matthew Tyler. Nathan Skrar and Nicholas Tapley will be out of 7th and 8th. Jacob Crocker and Troy Price 9th and 10th. 11th and 12th sees the Wyala racer Andy Maxwell Jr. alongside Darren Lester in that 59 Countex machine. Carl Kilgore, one of the Dirt Panda racers from the US of A, lines up next to one of the other team members in Wyatt Brown. 15th and 16th sees Matt Vickery and street stock car owner in real life Reg Corbett. Michael Hazeldine and Jaden Noon Trelaw will be starting 17th and 18th. Dale Hallett and Danny Cox have been on in the action all weekend. They're out of 19th and 20th. Kurt Millwood and Riley Jowett have a big job ahead of them, starting out of 21st and 22nd. It's another 22 car field. It's B main number 2, night 2 of the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt 250.
Boy, there's some names in this one. Keep an eye on young Brock Atkins and Casey O'Connell. They start inside the first 2 rows. Here we go. Green flag is out. B-main number 2. Look at Atkins already diving down to the inside. Going to make it 3 widers. Here he goes. Looks for the race lead out of turn 2. On the low side. 2 and 3. 4 wide. Down in the middle of the back of the pack is down into 3 and 4. For the first time, 20 laps in B-main number 2.
Trouble further back. Big trouble further back. The first car I saw go pear-shaped was that of Andy Maxwell Jr. I think Reg Corbett was caught up in all of that as well. Up front, they were going to sort themselves out fairly quickly though. As we are under yellow, Andy Maxwell Jr. there in front of the pack, just heading back round to join in his rightful position once again. Hopefully not too much damage there.
So I'm going to see a complete restart in this one. B-main number 2, and basically 4 drivers going to move into the 50 lap main event. 18 drivers, well, they'll pack their bags and they'll go home. Well, they're already home, but you know what I mean.
They'll turn off the computer and go to the bar fridge, possibly. Although, Sunday night. Oh, contact off the restart. I think that was Darren Lester getting a punt further back. As we head back into turn 1 and 2. Armstrong, Casey O'Connell and Brock Atkins. That's your battle up front. 3 wide, Bradley Vickery in behind them and Jacob Hamilton. Lower down on the track is one of the Skrar cars. As up front, the battle is on for the lead straight away. Remember folks, only 4 go through to the A main. Casey O'Connell and Armstrong up in the fence. Atkins slides up across the front. O'Connell pulls out the crisscross. Armstrong tries to follow through. Hamilton is right there as well, as is the 65 car of Bradley Vickery. It's very busy up front. Vickery gets in touch with Atkins, goes around. Everyone avoids the 65 machine, but will go yellow.
Yeah, I wonder who was going to get sent to the rear on that one. Just looked like another hard racing deal. Atkins come down the racetrack, and poor old Vickery. Now, I believe he was, pretty sure he was on one of my sets too as well. Both the Vickery boys, there's 2 of them, isn't there?
There was running this weekend.
Brad and Cameron,
Brad and Matt.
Oh, Matt.
This field tries to regain itself. Braden Sims has just parked himself on the podium on the front straight, getting some exposure to the 16 car. As Casey O'Connell was looking strong out in front, and then behind, it was a battle of the ages. Armstrong, Atkins, Hamilton was there, Bradley Vickery, Nathan Scrah was keeping it quiet down the bottom. Matthew Tyler and Tapley are still right there as well. As the race order is almost sorted and ready to go once again. Expect to go green next time by. That order, in fact: Casey O'Connell, Jake Armstrong, Brock Atkins, Bradley Vickery, Jacob Hamilton, Matthew Tyler, Nathan Scrah, Nicholas Tapley, Troy Price back in the field, Jacob Crocker, Kurt Millwood, Matthew Vickery, Danny Cox, Darren Lester, Reg Corbett, the 45 of Dale Hallett. Then it's back to Jaden Nutrelaw, Andy Maxwell Jr., Wyatt Brown, Riley Jarrett, and off the back is Michael Hazeldine as we go back underway with Jake Armstrong and Casey O'Connell leading the field. Brock Atkins sitting in third as they all head straight to the top. Vickery and Hamilton into the fence on entry as per usual this weekend. Seen plenty of cars do it, trying to get that right line into turn 1 and 2. Your top three come round to complete the first lap post restart, and they're starting to string out now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's O'Connell doing a nice job. Then you go back to Armstrong, as it's pretty much whatever the leader does is what determines the rest of the drivers behind him. They just sort of get over, they overdrive the turn, they drive it a little too deep, and it is so easy to jump the cushion and just catch the inside wall. Here comes Armstrong down to the inside, slide job on O'Connell. O'Connell, he sees it coming from a mile away. He'll use the crossover. He'll get back to the top side, halfway down the back straight away. And Armstrong once again going to throw another slide job, second slider, and nearly parks it. He almost, I'm pretty sure he jammed the brakes on O'Connell, unable to avoid hitting the back of him. And now here comes Atkins, 3 wide.
Atkins gets a fence fairly heavily. The battle's on for the transfer, but how can you take your eyes away from the battle for the lead? They were 3 wide down the back straight. O'Connell now. Armstrong, your race leader. O'Connell right there. Brock Atkins to the inside, and you look behind, the battle is on. 4th place is the transfer. There's about 6 cars on the back of Bradley Vickery. Up front though, it's Jake Armstrong. Second is Casey O'Connell. Atkins a little slower this time by as O'Connell. Oh, we've got a car up and over on the back straightaway. It's Nathan Scrah up and over in a big way, Brett.
Oh, that will take the count at around 11. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened. He's got the 6 on the top of the car. He's got the 18 painted on. Him and Troy Price come together, and there was other cars involved in that one, and he does go upside down. There's a couple of barrel rolls back on all fours, but unfortunately for Nathan Scrah, that pretty much should end his B main campaign. Although he's not gonna give up just yet, and that's a testament. You know, no real racers wants to give up and have their hopes if they can still drive it on all fours. That you know they're going to be on the racetrack.
Well, we saw Sean Black earlier on driving a crab, so anything's possible. He managed to somewhat finish that heat race. As Nathan Scrah now, I think he should still be rolling around, but that was a fairly wild ride. In fact, he might be on the infield. So Scrah adds to the rollover count. Jake Armstrong still your race leader though. Casey O'Connell sitting there in second. Then it's back to Brock Atkins, Brad Vickery, Hamilton, Tyler, all in the fences. Tapley looks to the inside out of turn 2. Down the back straight, Armstrong running right up on the boards. Second is O'Connell. O'Connell looks to run the lower line. Can the O'Connell machine get the drive out of turn 4? Very, very possibly. Goes for the slider across the front of Armstrong. Engaged, crisscross. He sure does. Gets the drive out of turn 2. And Brock Atkins is back in the picture now. This battle up front is all go once again. We then go back to 4th, which at the moment is Vickery as the leaders hit the fence. Armstrong and Tapley will be charging for that transfer spot though.
Armstrong actually in fact got past there by Atkins down at a turn number 4. They were certainly rubbing panels as they come out of turn 4 as they both hit the concrete wall. Out of turn 2, they're on the back straightaway. Right now, the way you've got to drive these cars is you've got to get off the gas going on the entry into the turn. Otherwise, you're doing what a lot of these drivers are doing. You see them overdriving, you see them hitting the concrete wall lap after lap. That's because they don't get off the gas. Get off the gas, set the car up. It only has to be a little bit. Even if you stab the brake a little bit, that's how you'll get around this Eldora Speedway here in the street stock.
Yeah, we saw the dust coming up about 5 laps ago, but that slick line is starting to come in. Out in front though, it's Casey O'Connell, your current transferee, in first position. Then it's Brock Atkins, Jake Armstrong, and the 65 car of Brad Vickery. That's your current top 4 who look to be going through at the moment. Their only challenger at the moment is that of Jake Hamilton, with Tapley just behind them. Then it's back to Tyler and the rest of the field as the front 3 or 4 start to string out, although the one car of O'Connell really got the fence. In fact, they were all right on it. There's contact between Hamilton and Bradley Vickery. Hamilton will look for the big slide job. That's for the transfer. Does he pull it off? Oh, not really. There's a little bit of contact. Vickery back to the inside. Gets the drive out of turn 4. The transfer battle is on.
Yeah, Vickery, he'll look for the inside once again, but it is going to be the 22 there of Jacob Hamilton. He was riding the wall through turn number 1 and 2. As Atkins now gets into the wall, Armstrong behind him, but how about O'Connell? He's had to sustain all challenges from Atkins and Armstrong down all the way around this half a mile of the racetrack. Atkins, Armstrong getting a run now. Will he go to the bottom? No, we're going yellow.
Yes, Nicholas Tapley in all sorts of trouble in turn 1. The 84 machine spun and got hit like a pinball, I believe, as well. Shouldn't be too many to run in this one, though.
At a guess, pretty good at guessing. I'm going to say we got about 3 or 4 to run, I reckon.
I don't think it'll be much more at all. We actually had a good run of laps then. Probably about 8 to 10 laps straight. As we recap, your current transferee spots, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, is that of Casey O'Connell, Brock Atkins, Jake Armstrong, and Jake Hamilton after that little incident. With Vickery now finds himself in 4th. Tapley looks to be possibly getting his spot back, but him, Jacob Crocker and the 65 of Vickery, along with Matthew Tyler, are the ones that are really going to have to charge here.
And this is where you'll start to see desperate moves being thrown out here, because drivers from 5th on back, they know they're not in the show, so they're not going to. They'll do what it takes, is necessary, and what is required to get into the top 4. But look, personally, I don't think anyone's touching the top 3, and even where back there in 4th, Jacob Hamilton. I don't think he's going to have too much to worry about. But tell you what, Tapley, he's been very consistent all weekend. Love to see him get into the show. He's 1 spot out of a transfer, as I believe we're going green flag next time by.
Yeah, Tapley right there. It looks as if Vickery got sent to the back of the train. Next in line is that of Matthew Tyler and the 21 machine in front of Jacob Crocker. But I'm not going to disagree at all with your comment of trying to catch these front 3. As we get ready to get back underway. Casey O'Connell, Brock Atkins, Jake Armstrong and Jake Hamilton, your current transferees, and Nicholas Tapley hasn't really got the start he would have liked to challenge that, as O'Connell slapping the fence through turn 1 and 2. Gets it back together. Oh, the right rear into the fence out of turn 2, and here comes Brock Atkins. Slide job, City engaged. Might not get the drive as O'Connell engages crisscross. Gets the drive underneath. This battle up front, hopefully they don't ruin it for themselves, Brett.
Now when you take a look at the top 4, they've just cleared away from 5th position right now. Here comes Atkins, O'Connell, and they'll make contact down the back straightaway. Atkins back down to the inside, slide job. O'Connell already turning underneath the Armstrong. He'll get a run down the outside of O'Connell. They nearly go 3 wide out of turn 4, and the race is on for the lead. And here comes Tapley. Oh no! Oh, you hate to see it. Hopefully for those guys, for Armstrong, Hopefully that's the checkered flag. I'm gonna say it is. Gonna say it is. A car flipping there, O'Connell. Yeah, look,
Well,
I think that's yellow. I think that's checkers, actually.
I'd certainly hope so. Well, that was your second B main. We'll be back in a moment with them top 4 spots and then the 8 drivers to tag on to the back of the 16 in the points. We'll run through the A main field in just a moment. This is the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt $250 to win show thanks to Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services. We'll be back in a moment with a very, very, very big 50 laps.
Mini Motorsport Doors, the leading edge in motorsport memorabilia. Provides replica race car doors for your team and your favourite drivers. With sponsor recognition, event trophy opportunities, or even just a gift, we have all your needs covered. We are now available for your orders. Just contact our Facebook or Instagram page for more details on our competitive pricing and orders to suit your every need.
Blanks Automotive and Performance, your local car service mechanic in Murray Bridge, South Australia, takes great pride in offering our clients the very best in car servicing and automotive repairs. Services at Blanks Automotive include logbook servicing to all makes and models, and all mechanical repairs, using the highest quality engine management systems and computer diagnostic equipment in Murray Bridge. Blanks Auto can also service your new car without affecting your new car warranty. Book a repair now or call us for a free car service estimate. www.blanksautomotive.repcoservice.net.
Hula Gators is a proudly Australian-owned small business importing and selling top-quality American die-cast models. Hula Gators are authorised Australian dealers from a number of American die-cast companies, including Lionel, Auto World, Acme, GMB, and R&R sprint car models, along with 1RC racing remote control speedway models. Hula Gators proudly support and sponsor all forms of motorsport. Find us at Adelaide International Raceway drag meetings and Murray Bridge and Borderline speedways. For more information, visit hulagator.com.au. Hula Gators, #1 for all American die-cast models for over 20 years.
My name is Stephen Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. Then from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types, you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
– 50 laps, the final journey. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in over the weekend. Thanks to you, Brett Wheeler, at Ultimate Dirt TV. Of course, Nate Truan heading the team at MVP hosted events for putting this one on. Scotty's RC Parts, Blanks Automotive and Performance, Hooligators Speedway diecast models, and everything else you could ask for. Mini Motorsport Doors, and of course, Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services, our major sponsor for the weekend. They've got years of experience across light and heavy industry as well as the resource sectors. They are your maintenance and reliability professionals. Find them at www.aeams.com.au and they bring you this 50 lap event. It's the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt Street Stock event. $250 is up for grabs in a very, very short moment, Brett Wheeler.
It is 50 laps around here, and we think about how slick the track is already and how difficult that cushion is to run. It's only going to get a lot tougher as we get set for the greatest sight in all of motorsports here, Kai.
Street stocks go 4 wide. Of course, it's a virtual Eldora Speedway. But the thing I like about it, the majority of this field sit in a real-life race car, speedway sedan, open wheel, whatever it is. The majority of them on track sit in a real race car week in, week out during the normal speedway season. 24 cars are lined up and ready to go. If your iPhone's gone flat, then get your lighters out. And look at that as they roll down the back straight. Atkins, Gosley, Mush, there's so many good drivers just off the front row. In the middle, you've got names like Armstrong, O'Connell, Brock Atkins coming from the back. As the cars roll around 4 wide, we'll show you that exact order. Starting off the front row will be Todd Atkins and David Mush, I should say. Second row will be that of Trent Gosley and Mitchell Parmenter. Then we go back to Brad Pesco and Clark alongside him. Then it's back to Fisher and Tyler McQuilkin, 7th and 8th. Aston Hurley and Tyler Bish round out your top 10. Starting out of 11th will be Mitch Clark. Alongside him, Anthony Miley. Hayden Vickers and Brendan Dobritz will start out of 13th and 14th. William Hargraves and Sean O'Hara, your 2 final drivers in 15th and 16th in terms of points over the weekend. Then we go to your B main transferees. Bo Oldfield, Brock Atkins, Jacob Todd, Casey O'Connell out of 19th and 20th, 21st and 22nd, Darcy Wilson and Jake Armstrong, Mark Montague and Jacob Hamilton off the back. It's a packed field, 24 cars, 50 laps a journey, and $250 straight to the winner at the end of this one.
That is an awesome job by everybody involved that has put on this event, and the patience from Nate and everybody else behind the scenes to deal with a lot of drivers. Now, you can only imagine what they have, or what these guys have put up with during these past couple of nights. So excited for this 50 lap main event, and excited to see who is going to pocket $250 cold hard cash.
Mush and Todd Atkins, your front row. The call goes over. Green, green, green. 50 laps is underway for the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt 250. They all make it into turn 1 and 2. The track going black straight away. It's going to be right up on the fence later on. I think we're going yellow. Just following the trend of the heat races. Head into turn 1 and 2. Come out of turn 2 on a caution.
Can't see too many people there with damage on their cars. Not just yet, anyway. It's only lap 1.
Possibly a messy start. As we will try it all over again.
Green flag is back out here in the 50 lap A main event. Atkins will slide up in front of Mush. Then you go back to Pimenta, Trent Gosley and Brad Pascoe. That's your top 5. Lewis Clark, who rounds out the top 6, nose to tail down into turn number 3 and 4. A lot of the drivers inside the top 10 are all working upstairs. It's busy back in the field, Kai.
Oh, it's going to get busy up front as Trent Gosley tries to make the gap in front of Brad Pascoe as they are all tagging the fence. I hear crashing. No, that's just cars tagging the fence. Race leader early on in this one is Toddy Atkins. Pascoe gets on the slick and the Roma windscreens. Cara Fisher is around in turn 4.
Yeah, we're going yellow now. Pascoe, he got tagged from Lewis Clark in the 19 machine a couple of times, and then he was forced down the racetrack to stop himself from spinning out in front of the majority of the field. Unfortunately for Fisher, Fisher was there, wrong place at the wrong time. So we'll see if that gets deemed as a racing incident, or whether Pascoe, Clark or Fisher gets sent to the back of the field. As we can see the Roman windscreens entry coming back up to the front, and again, wouldn't like to be race control on these types of calls.
No, very busy, and this is where it all counts. The final event of the weekend, as Lewis Clark looks to have the Fisher machine coming in behind in front of Tyler McQuilkin in that 47 car. Big names still at the back. Bo Oldfield, Brock Atkins, all just hovering around about the 18th position mark at the moment. As we go back up front with Todd Atkins, Damon Mush, Mitch Parmenter, Trent Gosley, Brad Pascoe. That's your top 5 at the moment, as Tyler McQuilkin looks to be slotting in somewhere. I'd say it's going to be behind Fisher in the yellow and black machine.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, if we go back and take a look at Lewis Clark in fact has been sent to rear of the field for that one. So he was the one that got into Brad Pascoe, and of course that sent Pascoe down the racetrack into Fisher, and now we're going back to green flag action here at the virtual Eldora Speedway.
Leading them into turn 1 and 2 is Todd Atkins, who tags the fence on entry. Then it's back to Damon Mush, Parmenter following him through, Trent Gosley, Brad Pascoe. Oh, a car possibly blinking there. That's your third place sitter, as Gosley now has company from Brad Pascoe. That's Parmenter, possibly blinking a fair bit, sitting there in third. But Gosley and Pascoe, they won't let that disturb them from their battle at all, as the 99 car of Aston Hurley dives in underneath the Fisher car and Tyler McQuilkin, but can't get it done. Meanwhile, up front, Todd Atkins is starting to pack the suitcase.
He's out by a good half a straightaway there on the back straightaway. Then you go back to Damon Mush back there in second. Third is Mitchell Pimenta, and again, he's not so much sitting there, he's certainly blinking down in position 3, and that can get very off-putting if you're the driver behind, because 1, you don't want to get into the back of him, 2, you don't want to ruin your own race because the guy doesn't have a stable internet connection. As I haven't seen Pimenta there in about a half a lap, so we'll see if he comes back onto the racetrack, and there it is. That's a case, unfortunately, of a bad internet connection.
Yes, he pops right back out on track on a 45 in front of the Fisher car. I think that's Brendan Dobrits there as well, possibly involved. Hayden Vickers and Bo Oldfield though, look how much they're working up through the field. As is Brock Atkins and Mitchell Clark. As we go to sort this field out once again.
So a busy period here for us here on Ultimate Dirt TV as tomorrow, just want to run to yellow, tomorrow for the Australian time zones, we've actually got 4 broadcasts to do tomorrow, but for the people that are just waking up in the United States at about 7 or 8 a.m, depending on if you're on the east or the central parts of the United States, we've got super late models, we've got pro late models, we go back to super late models, then we got a 410 show, 410 sprint car show. I think we might have another 410, or it's a 410 or a 360 to finish off the night. So plenty of action for your Monday for the Australian visitors, Australian residents. As we go back to green, Kai.
Atkins leads him off. Back in the field is Clark Dobrits. In fact, Dobrits the first one to have a look underneath Tyler McQuilkin. Can't get the drive out of turn 2 though. Then it's back up to Aston Hurley and Maverick Fisher. That's your battle for 5th on the racetrack. But up front it's Todd Atkins, Damon Mush, Brad Pascoe. Sitting in 4th is Adam Trent Gosley. Then it's back to Fisher, Aston Hurley, McQuilkin. The closest cars on track is now your race leader. Has to deal with the first scenes of lap traffic. Todd Atkins gets up around the top of the 25 machine, who's fairly out of shape down the bottom. Damon Mush and Pascoe will be the next 2 cars to put that car a lap down. Mitch Parmenta's going to be next on the lap down hit list as well, still blinking on the bottom of the racetrack. As your top 3 have really started to string out as we get a few laps run.
Yeah, something these drivers haven't had to deal with all weekend so far is lap traffic, and no doubt if we get a good green flag run in here like we are at the moment, you will see lap traffic as Pimenta. He is the lap car on the low side of the racetrack. It seems to be okay, his internet, but man, that was really tough for not only Mitch but everybody else that got caught up involved in that one. That's Pascoe now. Closing in on Damon Mush down into turn number 3. Mush to the middle of the racetrack. Pascoe will slide it to the cushion. They'll go 3 wide with Pimenta on the low side of the lap car. Damon Mush right through the centre.
Mush, as you said, through the centre. But I think Pascoe's going to get the push up top. Discount Parmenta, here's the lap car. Your closest car behind them is the 4 of Trent Gosley. Then it's back to Aston Hurley as a car back in the field, puts a massive slider on Fisher and tags the fence. But up front it's all Atkins at the moment. Your battle's on for 2nd between Mush and Pascoe up top. They've been side by side for at least 2 laps now, although Mush just moves back in behind that Pascoe machine. Your top 3, Atkins, Pascoe, Mush. We then go back to Trent Gosley. Aston Hurley's next. The battle's on for the minors between Fisher. The 25 car's a lap car of Anthony Miley. There's Wyatt Brown, I think it is in there. Oh no, sorry, Brendan Dobrits. All battling for about the 10th position. Tyler McQuilkin's in there as well. So your top sort of 6 has really started to string out as we get a few laps under our belt. Brendan Dobrits. Oh, trouble almost in turn 1 and 2 for that battle for about 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th on the racetrack. Car possibly stopped in turn 2 after all that as well.
How about that number 1 machine right now, who had to come from the B main, and I believe it was Casey O'Connell there in that 1 machine. He started deep in the field and riding in about the top 10 spot. Oh no, lap car, the 25 is going to go around. I dare say we might be going yellow. Hurley puts a slider on Gosley. A couple of teammates going at it. There it is. Yellow flag does come out. But yeah, Casey O'Connell up inside the top 10. And Kai, you'll be able to inform us of where Casey started. I think it might have been either 18th or 20th, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you'll find finishing second in the second B main. Casey O'Connell started this one 20th out of 24 cars. He's on a mission. As we have a look on the infield, the cars to DNF so far. I think Parmenta's on the infield, Hayden Vickers as well. The rest of them still battling out on track though. There's Brad Pascoe. The way we've seen it so far, he better really boogie here, otherwise Toddy Atkins will just run away once again. Damon Mush will have to follow through also. And Trent Gosley and Aston Hurley, the matching cars, are right there as well.
I know what's going through their minds right now, just as they're rolling around and knowing that they do have now a clear track in front of them for Todd Atkins. What would you be thinking right now if you're sitting in there in first place?
Don't fence it. Don't fence it in a big way out of turn 2 probably. Although I really don't know, Brett. I've never really had such an opportunity to have a thought about when you're sitting out front. But yes, look, the rearview mirrors a lot of drivers run on the iRacing, and I'm sure Toddy Atkins knows that Brad Pascoe and Damon Mush are right there. So just keep hitting your marks, and if you want anyone to hit your marks, Toddy Atkins is probably one of the ones you choose.
Oh, we're going to green flag back again as we were just sitting on board there with Todd Atkins there, and it really showed us how glossy, how slick this track is, you know, from top to bottom, and how good that cushion is, how high it is up in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But here comes Gosley now, inside down into turn number 3. Look for the slide job on Mush. He gets left a bit of room there. Top rats around, facing the wrong way there out of turn number 4.
Yeah, I think Dobrats, I don't think he thought that he was going to slide up track on the slick stuff as quickly as he did. Got into the side of the other car and went around. Thankfully, no one else involved. He'll find himself at the back of the pack when it comes to the restart. Have a look at Pascoe. He's really got that nose cone really stuck under the back of Toddy Atkins on the roll-around lap. Mush is sort of just chilling there in third position.
I think he's trying to get into the mind there of Todd Atkins, you know, just getting closer and just letting him know, hey, I'm here for that $250.
I think you'll find that's a boot. Yeah, the boot of Toddy Atkins. Either or, he's certainly there. But, in saying all of that, Brett, he hasn't had anything for him just yet.
No, Atkins was one of those drivers in the Australian Street Stock title, actually moved his way forward in that race at Charlotte. So
done the alphabet, didn't he?
Not too sure. All I know is I was locked into the main event, and that's all I cared about.
As we get ready to go back green at the Australia E-Racing Eldora Dirt, $250 to win, thanks to, of course, Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services. As we get back underway, it's Todd Atkins, Brad Pascoe, Damon Mush, the 4 car of Trent Gosley, the 99 of Aston Hurley, with 17 laps to go next time by.
Oh wow, those laps just reeled off.
Sorry, I've said it wrong, Brett. We've 18 laps down, sorry.
I was going to say this. Wow, we just busted our 30 quick laps, no worries, but alright, so 17 down that time by, was it? Or 18?
That'll be 19 down, so 31 laps to go as they head down the back straight once again. Trent Gosley, but we're going to go yellow again. Yes, I just got the the phone sent over the shoulder, Brett, with a number on it, and I thought, no, that can't be right. I've said it wrong. So I'll get confirmation of what lap we're on. Almost at the halfway mark, but still there's plenty of racing left to go. Tell you what, hopefully these drivers have got, what would you say, around 8 or 9 gallons just to be sure that they get through this with the yellows?
No, you're going to need a little bit more than that.
A little bit more?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I'm just trying to think what I... So I didn't even attempt to do a fuel run here today. I think about 6 gallons will get you about... I want to say about 30 laps.
Wow, so probably more so around the 12 to 14 mark would have been a safe pass.
Yeah, I know. I can tell you right now, Hayden Vickers actually sent me a message, asked me, he said, how much fuel? He goes, I've got 15 in. I said, you know what, 15's plenty, because you got to think about, they actually burn fuel under yellow right now, because if you go off iRacing yellows, they don't actually burn fuel, but because there's roll around laps, you burn fuel. So I think 15 is probably a safe number to get you through. But again, that fuel strategy could come into question later on tonight.
Sure could. As we should have one more roll around lap before we get back underway. Just trying to sort out a few cars further back in the field. Fisher, one of them. Top 5 hasn't really changed for the last few laps. Still Atkins, Pascoe, Damon Mush, Trent Gosley. The 99 of Aston Hurley behind them is Casey O'Connell, Maverick Fisher. At the wheel, Tyler McQuilkin, Darcy Wilson, Brock Atkins. That's roughly your top 10.
There you go. I was because I run telemetry on my iRacing. I can go back and actually have a look at how much fuel is being consumed. Now I can tell you right now, this is in litres, so not in gallons. So if you can do the math and convert it, I use about half a litre per lap. You tell you what, I'll do the conversion.
Very good. I'll get back to the racing on screen. Roughly about 30 laps to go in this one. It's Todd Atkins, Brad Pascoe, the track right up near the fence. In fact, cars in 5th and 6th. Aston Hurley and Casey O'Connell in the fence through turns 1 and 2 and on the exit as well. They should be very, very careful. We've seen it all weekend. Rollovers occurring once a car crabs and drifts onto that turn 2 exit concrete. Who knows? As we look back to this battle for third, Damon Mush, Aston Hurley and Trent Gosley side by side. Casey O'Connell, Aston Hurley was up in the fence. As Gosley looking to try the lower line now around the virtual Eldora Speedway. Might be a little bit more moisture, a little bit more drive down the bottom. But we all know the track is right up on the fence. That's where you're going to get the speed. It's all about making a pass as Tyler McQuilkin comes underneath the Fisher machine. Gosley going backwards slowly as he tries that bottom line. Race leader is still that of Todd Atkins, but Pascoe is right there now.
Yeah, Pascoe hasn't let him get away from him just yet, and tell you what, Pascoe would love a victory here, and also would love to pick up an extra $250 here in the Dirt Street Stock Races. They'll go to the top once again. It's about trying to minimise your mistakes. The less mistakes you make, the more likely that you will go to victory lane, especially for the drivers up front. And, well, you've got to wonder, will Pascoe, will he pull the trigger? Will he throw a slider? Will he try and get in the mind of Todd Atkins? As Atkins now, actually a little bit better run there through 1 and 2, and Atkins just moves clear now by about a car and a half length.
Trouble further back, Brett. I think it was the 47 car of Tyler McQuilkin getting pinballed on the back straight. Possibly got out of it quick enough. As we do go yellow, and in fact, as you were mentioning, Pascoe, I think he's got plenty of bullets left in the gun when it comes to pulling the trigger. He was all over the back of Atkins that time by. The battle for third was intense though. Damon Mush, the 99 car of Aston Hurley, were going at it as well, throwing Casey O'Connell. And it'll all start back up again come the restart.
Now, going back to fuel situation, you use about 0.14 gallon a lap. So if we just say 2 gallons a lap, or 0.2 gallons a lap, yep. Now I can't do quick math on the fly, so you got a calculator around.
I think you'll find that I can't work it out either quickly.
No, that's why I'm going to the phone very, very quickly. For 50 laps, you would need about 10 gallons.
I think, yeah, I was going to say,
Now that's
round 10.
That's green to checker. You've also got to think in those roll-around laps as well. How many roll-around laps these drivers think they're going to get, and then obviously add the fuel accordingly. So, look, I think 15's spot on the money here.
Well, the only thing we can hope for is that's around the number that they put in about 20 or more laps ago when they were getting ready in pit lane. I'd say each car would have probably around the 10 gallon mark left in the tank if that was the case.
How many laps we completed?
I'll just check.
I think we're close to halfway, so yeah, drivers should have anywhere between 7 to 10 left, I reckon.
Yes, as we go back to green, Brett, 25 laps down, 25 laps to go. We're right dead smack wacko in the middle of the Australia Air Racing Eldora Dirt 250. Final was all top 5, smashing the wall down on the entry to turn 1 and 2. Atkins still your race leader. Pascoe didn't probably get the start we saw him get last time by, still sitting in second though. Then it's back to Damon Bush, who's got company aplenty from the 99 car of Aston Hurley. Casey O'Connell's there as well. Trent Gosley, the Fisher machine, is there, and on the tail of them it looks to be the 5 car. As that looks to be the battle pack forming as Aston Hurley comes down and across the 12 car of Damon Bush. Bush tries to get the drive on the inside. It's Bush inside. Aston Hurley on the outside. That's your battle for third. Hurley's in the fence. O'Connell's in the fence. Bush slides up to the fence. Oh, Hurley and O'Connell look to the drive down to the bottom. Up front it's still Toddy Atkins and Brad Pascoe, but the battle is on fire for third at the moment.
Yeah, Hurley and Morse now. Man, they are certainly going at O'Connell. Well, he's got nowhere to go. All he can do is follow these drivers down through turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. O'Connell gets into the driver's door there, the left-hand door of the 99 of Hurley. Hurley wouldn't like that one too much, but O'Connell, he will now move up to position number 4. And this is what Pascoe needs to do on your race leader. If he can get the chance, even if he's a little bit closer than what you see right now, if he can gain another car or 2 lengths, and close that gap, that's when he has to have his opportunity, because right now he's not going to have many more opportunities if Toddy Atkins continues to drive away like he is at the moment.
Almost trouble further back between the 5 machine and Fisher. That's a good point you point out up front. Pascoe just has to keep nicking along in the blue, red and white machine as this battle for third is not stopping. Bush third, then it's back to O'Connell, Aston Hurley and Trent Gosley. They're going to try and make 3 wide again. No, they won't, as they come down the front straight once again into turn 1 and 2. O'Connell might get the drive underneath Bush. Out of turn 2, not quite. Aston Hurley and Trent Gosley still right there, and this is allowing Fisher and the rest behind him to try and catch up also. Battle pack including Mitch Clark and the rest, as your race leaders look to have a little bit of traffic as O'Connell slides up in front of Bush, who goes straight back down to the bottom, and keep an eye on Aston Hurley. I thought he was going to pull a big move then. Oh, car upside down on the back straight possibly.
Oh, we're yellow, so Wilkin going back to pit road. Let's see if we can get that one on the replay. Not quite. No, not quite on what I just seen. Go back a little further actually. A better way to look above from the racetrack. Now there was contact, a couple of cars behind Fisher. So we'll do some private investigating. Oh man, this is why I had this old timing screen. Lewis Clark it was, and Jake Armstrong. That's the reason for the yellow. these drivers, Tony Atkins, he's not letting up. Pascoe needs to time this start. He needs to go with him. And I think if I'm Brad Pascoe right now, in 3 and 4 on, once you go back to green, I think you've just got to bite the bullet and pull the trigger.
He's got to do it soon. I just had my eye on back in the field. Mark Montague, Brendan Dobritz, Bo Oldfield, Tyler McQuilkin, all getting very touchy-feely at the back. Not too sure what that's all about. They're all unhappy with each other, so hopefully they can hold it together. There's a caution. I won't be surprised if it's from the second half of the field as we get back underway. Oh, a messy start as we go yellow again.
I reckon we're about between 9 to 12 laps left in this one.
I can have a quick look, and the fuel would really be starting to get into the single digits, that's for sure.
Atkins continues to lead this field. How many we got, Kai?
I think you'll find there's 19 laps to go on the restart.
Man, it feels like we've done 75 laps around here already.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that last run was only a run of 6 laps, 31 laps completed. So I think that fuel situation is going to be very, very touch and go very, very shortly within the last 10 laps. So 19 laps to go as we get back underway. Todd Atkins, Brad Pascoe, Damon Mush, Casey O'Connell, the 99 of Aston Hurley with Trent Gosley and Fisher behind them. That's your top 7 on the racetrack at the moment as they head down the back straight. Stringing out once again. Pascoe didn't listen to you, Brett. He didn't bite the bullet and go for it off the restart, but he will now. Pascoe for the first move of the race. Expect Atkins for the crisscross. No, he gets into the back and he won't get the run. Brad Pascoe is your race leader.
Well, Atkins is going to want to get up on the wheel and try and run him down. We are looking at 17 to run. The yellow comes out, and now with Brad Pascoe, who finds himself in the lead. Toddy Atkins, he's going to have it all to do because for the first time in the race, he's going to have the leader in front of him.
Well, I thought I'd called it. He hadn't tried it off the restart, but as soon as I mentioned it, he must have heard us. Went for the big dive underneath Toddy Atkins. Damon Bush, Casey O'Connell, Aston Hurley, Trent Gosley. They keep battling like that up front, Brett. It's only going to slow them down, so we got trouble under the yellow on the front straight, but it's only going to slow them front 2 down, so who knows? 3rd, 4th, 6th and 5th place at the moment. They still could have a chance here.
They can, but it would mean that Atkins and Pascoe would pretty much near have to take each other out, and I think at this stage, I don't think it's going to happen. I was talking about trying to minimise your mistakes. Atkins actually made the mistake in 3 and 4, just when you said that Pascoe wasn't going to bite the bullet and throw the slider. That was the time when Atkins made the mistake and Pascoe closed in, so he had one opportunity, and we can almost call him Eminem because he certainly took that opportunity. He had one shot.
I'm sure after doing all that work and starting out a second on the restart, Brad Pascoe, his palms would be sweaty. Damon Mush sitting there in 3rd. Still, I think he's been in that lonely 3rd position for probably 20 laps straight. Casey O'Connell behind them. Then it's back to the Hurley and Gosley machines. Fisher, Clark, Jake Armstrong and Jake Hamilton slowly creeping their way up into the top 10. We then go back to Dobritz, and the rest of the field, as this front four is very, very touchy-feely. Plenty of bumper contact as they roll through turn 3 and 4. Green's on the leader. Anywhere after turn 3, Toddy Atkins jumps on the gas pedal and gets away nicely. Pascoe and Mush. Can Mush hang on to Pascoe? Brett Wheeler thinks not, as O'Connell gets into the fence. Aston Hurley now right on the tail of O'Connell as we look back up front. Pascoe falls back into that rhythm of following the number 1 machine.
Now Atkins continues to lead the field, and again looking to ride the right rear on the cushion as here comes O'Connell with a slide jump on Mush. Mush will turn it back underneath him as Aston Hurley right there behind O'Connell. O'Connell on the top side, Hurley and Mush double slider there on O'Connell, and O'Connell turns it back through the middle. He'll take back 4, and here comes O'Connell again with a short slider down into turns number 1 and 2. Mush is nearly done. They're going to go 3 wide. Mush through the middle and Aston Hurley down low.
Hurley inside. Damon Mush in the middle. As Hurley slides back up track, O'Connell looks back to the inside. Damon Mush, I should say, got on the gas a little too hard, got tail happy. As O'Connell slides up with Aston Hurley, there's a little bit of contact. As Mush now looks back to the inside. Meanwhile, up front, Brad Pascoe is right on the tail of Toddy Atkins. As Mush, a little bit of contact with the front end of the 99 machine. Casey O'Connell drop back a little bit and throw in. Trent Gosley, the 19 car, is in the fence as well. This battle for third is hot, 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 Brent.
Yeah, it certainly is right now. And this track is certainly cooked right now here at the Eldora Speedway. Pascoe closing in once again on Toddy Atkins down into turn number 1 and 2. They slide to the cushion. Atkins got the better run out of the 2, better run out of the 2, out of turn 2, and we are yellow. And you've got to wonder now, we are surely looking at about 14 laps to go, I'd say.
Oh, that estimate was fairly good. 12 laps to go on the restart.
Alright. Now, I would love to be just somewhere where we'd be able to get information on how much fuel these drivers have got.
Well, we'd nearly have to... Depends if the driver's running their telemetry setting on the game. But I'd like to say it's getting very low on the old wooden fuel tank check stick, Brett. Hell yeah.
Alright, so Atkins and Pascoe. How about the battle between Mush, Hurley, O'Connell? Gosley was there as well. Lewis Clark in that mix. And look at these drivers just waiting for race control to give the order on who is going to restart where. Aston Hurley going to restart in 3rd. Damon Mush restarts 4th. Casey O'Connell rounds out the top 5. And we go back and take a look at, I believe it is Trent Gosley in the 4, along with Brandon Dobrats. And that's the way that they will go. And then you go back to, we'll go to Clark Fisher. And I believe that might be Jake Armstrong as well on the top side of the number 39 machine. Well, Oldfield has moved up some fair few positions as well.
Lewis Clark sent rear for that one. Deemed the cause of the caution. As I said, 12 laps to go off the restart. Toddy Atkins, after starting off the pole in the 36 machine, is still there. Alongside him off the start was Damon Mush, who's now sitting in 4th.
Apparently Sean Stevens says Pascoe has 4 gallons left for 12 laps. For 12 laps, he'll get that every day of the week.
As long as there's enough racing laps involved. He should be okay. Hopefully that same top 5 have the same amount of fuel. And we're set for a good last 12 or so laps. Of course, the Australia E-Racing Eldora $250 is going to be won very, very soon. Thanks again to Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services and MVP hosted events. As we go back to green, Bo Oldfield, who started 17th, is out. He's out of fuel. Therefore, the car's out of noise. Your race leader is Todd Atkins. Second is Pascoe. Aston Hurley now looks to be on the move. He's even going to throw a big slider in front of Brad Pascoe, and Todd Atkins has contact. Hurley goes round almost into the pits, and it's pretty easy to see who will be restarting off the back.
Oh boy, Atkins slid into Pascoe then just there in turns 1 and 2. Oh boy, drama late in this one, Kai.
Yes, I think they're getting desperate. There's still 11 or 12 laps to go, but there was some very, very nervy shots there. Good effort from Aston Hurley though to throw it down on Brad Pascoe. Damon Mush, I still think is the one hovering there in third, as Hurley looks to possibly getting his spot back. Maybe deemed a racing incident.
Well, Lockie Horton says that Atkins has 0.8 gallons left. And
wow!
If that is the case, he will be about 3 or 4 laps shy, 2 to 3 laps shy of making it. Now you can see why he's actually run on the low side of the speedway under yellow.
Yes, less distance to travel, less fuel used. He's pulled into the pits.
Wow.
Oh, controversial scenes. Toddy Atkins looks to be going to the hamburger bar.
Wow. Well, the price of fuel has just gone up for Todd Atkins.
That's a $250 tank of fuel, Brett.
Yep, just shy by about 10 laps, unfortunately. You got to feel for him. He was one of the cars to beat coming into this weekend, and Brad Pascoe may have just used a stroke of luck.
As we get back underway, Pascoe into turn 1 and 2, Bush and O'Connell, as per usual with most of the drivers on entry on this blacker track, into the fence on entry. The 4 car of Trent Gosley there, now sitting in 4th. 5th, it looks to be Jake Armstrong, who started out of 22nd. In fact it is, as he looks underneath the 4 of Trent Gosley, we go yellow, yellow, yellow.
Oh boy. Nah. Well, Atkins was the first car, the second car that we noticed out of fuel. Bo Oldfield was the first. How many drivers are going to run out of fuel? As I said, Pascoe has a couple of yellows ago. He said he had about 4 gallons left, and when you can get about 5-6 laps per gallon, I mean, technically he's still good for another about at least
20.
At least 20 green flag laps.
So he might just scrape it in, but as you said, who will last a distance? Maybe putting a little bit of extra fuel in wasn't going to hurt. Of course it's going to be heavier at the start of the race, but it's a marathon, 50 laps. It's as simple as that.
I wonder what is going through the mind right now of Brad Pascoe, knowing that he is probably only about 10 laps away from a $250 paycheck coming his way if he can hang on. Damon Mush You know he wants to get the job done in that number 12 machine. Casey O'Connell probably deserves it, considering that he's had one of the drives of the night to come from the back of tonight's main event up into the top 3. Green flag is back out, Guy.
Contact there on the restart between Armstrong and Fisher. 11 laps to go this time by. It's Pascoe, Bush, Casey O'Connell. Then it's back to Trent Gosley. 5th after starting out at 22nd is Jake Armstrong. As further back, it looks like Brandon Dobrits possibly has a big dive underneath Fisher. Fisher in the fence. Keeps it going out of turn 4 though. Pushes the pedal through the firewall to make sure it happened. There's Jake Hamilton further back starting to make a move on Dobrits, who's even further back. Slide Job City could have went out of shape. In fact it does. A big T-bone on the back straight. We'll go yellow with about 20% of the race to go.
Yeah, well, I believe that was 10 to go. They were coming to 9 as they were about to come out of turn number 4, but I think we'll go back to 10 laps left to run, and this is going to be getting desperate for these drivers right now. Look, I'm sure they just want to get this race over and done with, and they also want to try and have a chance at picking up some cash here on the iRacing.com service.
They've got to get some laps in. It's as simple as that. Nine laps to go. It'll be on the restart. Your race order is Brad Pascoe, Damon Mush, Casey O'Connell, Trent Gosley, Jake Armstrong, Fisher in the Roma windscreens car. Then it's back to Brendan Dobrits out of the USA, Jake Hamilton, Lewis Clark, Tyler McQuilkin, Mitchell Clark, and at the back Tyler Bish, William Hargroves and Aston Hurley. They're your survivors at the moment. We'll go green next time by as Mark Montague exits the track and goes back to the pit crew on the infield. He's out of this one. His show is over. As we get ready to follow the likes of Brad Pascoe, Damon Bush. He was sitting quietly in 3rd place for probably about 25 to 30 laps straight. He now finds himself in 2nd. Casey O'Connell 3rd. Trent Gosley in 4th. As I said, in 5th at the moment after starting 22nd is that of Jake Armstrong. Behind him, Fisher in 7th, who started out of 7th, I should say. As we get back underway, Brad Pascoe leads the train. 9 to go.
Pascoe with a good start on Mush, and then you go back to O'Connell, Gosley and Armstrong. That's your top 5. Dobrats and Fisher, they'll race side by side. Out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Dobrats down low. 8 laps to go. A heat race distance away, Kai, from our main event. The 50 laps being completed.
Pascoe looking pretty out in front as Dobrits is charging through the field further back. He slides his way into 6th position. And I think we've got trouble further back possibly. They might keep it together. Oh, Armstrong catches the fence out of turn 4. A bit of contact there with the 4 machine of Gosley, who now slides under Armstrong. Armstrong looks back. Oh, Armstrong's cooked it. Turn 2, he got on the gas too hard through the slick stuff, and he drops way back to 5th position. Meanwhile, up front, it's Pascoe. Back to Mush and Casey O'Connell. That's your top 3, and I think Fisher went around in turn 4.
Yeah, I think we're about 6 laps away from being complete as we go yellow. It'll be about 5 or 6 laps left to run, but poor old Fisher, man, he was good for so early on for the majority of this 50 lapper so far, and well, unfortunately it comes unstuck, that bright yellow dirt street stock. Well, it's going to go to the rear of the field.
As we get ready to get back underway, must thank once again Hooligators, Blinks Automotive and Performance, Scotty's RC Parts, Mini Motorsport Doors, and of course Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services, Nate Truan at MVP Hosted Events, and of course thanks to you also Brett at Ultimate Dirt TV. Good to see viewers sticking around tonight. We had plenty of viewers there, especially for the first session last night. And they've stuck around tonight, and they're not missing out on anything, that's for sure.
These drivers, well, they're making the best of what is a very, very slick racetrack right now. And just to give the fans an idea at home, looking above the racetrack, there is only moisture on the straightaways from about halfway all the way to that inside wall. Again, there's not a whole lot left of moisture in this racetrack, and right now these drivers, well, they're in survival mode at the moment.
Another point as well, Brett, as you mentioned last night, the wall, the cushion, the dirt building up on the wall was covering half the Eldora sign. We can hardly see the Eldora riding in the turns 3, 4, 1 and 2 as we get back underway. 4 laps to go with your race leader, Brad Pascoe.
Yeah, Pascoe now, again, 2 car lengths away is Damon Mush. O'Connell just catching a piece of the back straightaway wall as here comes Gosley again, trying to launch an attack for the podium position. He'll cut it down to the middle of the racetrack on the exit of turn number 4. We are closing in here on the final couple of laps. It is Brad Pascoe continuing to lead out in front.
Pascoe, as you said, your race leader as they come by. It'll be 2 laps to go this time by. It's Pascoe, Damon Mush, then it's back to Casey O'Connell, Trent Gosley, and Jake Armstrong still sitting nicely in 5th with company from the Clark machine, the number 19. Then back to Jake Hamilton, the Roma windscreens car of Fisher. Then we go back to that 47 car of Tyler McQuilkin. But with just 1 rotation left of the virtual Eldora Speedway, Brad Pascoe has moved away from Damon Mush. Armstrong has a big dive further back in the field, maybe contact with Gosley. It's all going back there. But Brett Wheeler, everyone watching, everyone at home, your race winner and weekend winner for the Australia E-Racing Eldora 250 event, thanks to Australian Engineering and Maintenance Services, is Brad Pascoe.
Giddy up, Cowboy, the United Sim Sports driver, getting it done. And after 50 laps, he comes away with a $250 cash coming his way. Boy, I tell you what, I wasn't trying to be biased or anything, but I'm so glad that he got the job done.
For the first 30 laps, he was so close behind Toddy Atkins, Brett. He was patient, and he just threw it in at the right time.
Right time, right place. He'll pretend to get the checkered flag, and, well, Brad Pascoe, your winner here tonight. Wow. What a weekend it was, Kai.
It sure was. Just finalising them positions, it got fairly busy across the line. Brad Pascoe, obviously your winner. Damon Mush hung on to 2nd. Casey O'Connell home in 3rd. Jake Armstrong, after starting 22nd, managed to get home in 4th. And Trent Gosley in that number 4 machine rounded out the top 5. And you said, you're exactly right, Brett. That was, it was different coming into the weekend. Personally, my first online commentary event. But look, not going to lie, it was fairly enjoyable. And they certainly provided plenty of action. 35 heats, 2B mains. And Brad Pascoe takes $250 back with him.
Yes, and rightfully deserving now of bringing it up. They're on victory lane here on the front straightaway. Congratulations to all the drivers that entered this event. Over 100 entries. And the driver, well, the best driver that was consistent all week, Brad Pascoe. He will get the win. Kai, that was look, that lane was a little longer than expected, but in the end, with how slick the track was, with especially as we'll talk about that cushion and covering the Eldora signs, it just made it a little bit harder for these drivers, especially if you're sitting back there in about 4th, 5th or 6th place and you've got all the drivers in front of you running the top side it is so hard to predict on when these drivers are going to turn in, and also it's also the extra difficulty to hit that cushion and not hit the wall.
Yeah, that's it, and also very, very hard to pass on a track like that. And as you said, the A-main went a little bit longer, but that's okay. We had the 3-hour long session. It's currently just ticked over 2 hours and 58 minutes and 30 seconds. But, you know, I'd like to thank once again everyone watching there at home, and of course the effort Nate and the team behind MVP hosted events have put into this. Thanks again to you, Brett, and Ultimate Dirt TV for streaming it. I can tell you what, there's a few ideas here at the MVP hosted townhouse, we'll call it. Trust me, expect possibly another event to be on the cards, that's for sure. But yes, a good weekend had by all.
Yes, a very big weekend as well. Over 100 entries, 2 servers, 15 heats per server last night. So we've seen 30 heat races last night, 5 heat races, plus 2 B mains and a 50-lap main event. That'll do it for us on behalf of Ultimate Dirt TV. Kai, I want to thank you for joining me here in the booth. It's been a pleasure having you here over the past couple of days, and again, looking forward to potentially more events later on.
Thank you, Brett, and thank you everyone else. That was the Australia E-Racing Dirt 250 at Eldora.